She suspected her husband was cheating.
We're chasing this car now. She crashes into the back of her vehicle in my car.
Which had in it your husband and his girlfriend.
Yes. The airbag exploded. The car is totaled.
Oh, I don't care if your car is in 1,000 pieces on Pluto. Keep your nose out of other people's business.
This is Judy Justice. Kierani Scott is suing her sister, Leaire Scott, for vehicle damage, transportation fees, and emotional distress.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Judge, case 3174, Scott versus Scott.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Scott, this is your sister.
That's correct.
Older, younger?
Older.
She's married.
That's correct.
She called you and told you that she suspected her husband was cheating.
That is correct.
When did she call and tell you this?
The text messages that I have were February 3rd.
Of what year?
This year, Your Honor.
Anyway, she said she suspected her husband of cheating, and she asked you if you would come over with your car to take her to track him down, because her husband and this other woman, she thought, were driving in the family car, hers and her husband's, so she didn't have a car. Is that right?
That's correct.
So you dropped everything and you went over to her house. How long did it take you to get there?
Probably about 15 minutes, not that long. We live about 10 minutes, 15 minutes across the bridge from each other.
And when you got to her house, was she outside? Was she inside?
She was outside waiting for my niece, that's right here today, to come back home.
Her daughter?
Yes, she was outside. We couldn't go anywhere.
How old are you?
16.
Anyway, she hopped in your car, and at that point, she was in the passenger seat.
Yes.
So you picked her up and started driving to where she thought you might find her husband, the girlfriend, and her car.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she find them?
Not right away. She gives this address on her phone. She said, we're going to go here. This is where the car should be parked up at. We get to this address. We're looking around probably about 15, 25 minutes or so.
You're driving around?
No, we parked the car.
Oh, you parked the car? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you were walking around?
Yes.
Just the two of you?
No, she had a friend. I don't know the friend.
She had a friend with you?
The friend met us there.
Had you called your friend?
Yes, I did.
And told her where to meet you?
Yes.
The friend was female?
Yes.
So now the three females are walking around this neighborhood. What time was this?
At this point, probably 12:25, I want to say, in the morning.
So now you're walking around a dark neighborhood, the three of you, looking for a car that your sister thought was occupied by her husband and this woman.
Yes.
So tell me what happened.
We are looking for the car. We're walking around. We don't see the car. She's frantic, agitated because of the situation.
Do you remember what she was saying to you?
She's saying she couldn't believe he was doing this to her. That the time they spent together, him lying, saying that he was working overtime, and that wasn't the case. He was having an affair with this woman that he works with at his job. We went to basically what she told me was to just go retrieve the car. I asked her, you sure you just don't want to go about this the right way? Like court proceedings, divorce, however you may go about it. I don't, me and her is exchanged. We only really recently started talking again because our mother passed away.
Well, did she tell you what she intended to do if she found them?
She wanted to take her car back. She had the spare key, and I was under the impression that I was just taking her to go get the vehicle. Nothing crazy happens.
Okay. You were under the impression that the car was going to be empty?
Yes, she told me, he dropped the car off at the female's house.
And he was in the house?
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Shh. You'll have a chance. So you thought that the car was parked?
On the block, yes.
Okay. And?
So once we get there, we're looking around, no car is visible. She's now calling her stepdaughter, which is her husband's oldest child, to figure out where he's at because she hasn't talked to her husband. The stepdaughter's telling her, I don't want to tell you because I don't want to get in trouble with my father. She's trying to, just tell me the right address because we're under the impression, if you're saying that the car was here because this is where the female lives and we don't walk around, we can't find the car.
Okay.
Do you have the wrong address?
So?
We leave outside of the building, continue to walk around.
What building?
Of wherever that female lives.
Did you go into that building?
Yes, we went into the building.
So what did you do when you walked into the building?
I guess she was trying to see if she can hear her husband's phone calling him to verify if he was on location.
How big a building?
Probably about 5 floors, 5, 6 floors.
Did you go up the elevator?
She took the elevator up.
Did you go with her?
Me, her, and her friend was with her. That is correct.
So you were all together?
Yes.
You were all together trying to listen for a phone going off. Did you go all 5 floors?
No. She went to one specific floor.
Okay. But at this point, you know that she's no longer looking for her car because her car isn't on the 5th floor, right?
No, yeah,
or
at
the
this
4th
point.
floor or the 3rd floor.
Yes.
So you know she's looking to confront her husband.
Husband, yes, at this point.
Okay. So let's get finished with this farce that we're going to just pick up the car. Mm-hmm. She's looking to confront her husband and the woman.
That's correct.
And you don't hear a phone, so you exit the building.
We leave out the building.
Let's go.
Now I'm standing at the corner. I'm smoking a cigarette because we done stand here all this time. I'm asking her, what are you gonna do next? She's in her phone, looking at her phone. I didn't know exactly what she was looking at. Come to find out, she knew where her car was all along because in the type of car she has, there's a tracking device for that vehicle, a BMW. You can track it on the phone. I did not know that. So the car ended up magically coming down the block. It's, I'm guessing, the husband and the females in the car. So now at this point, I'm looking, the only BMW. I'm like, hey, is this the car? She's more further down the block than me. I'm standing at the corner, so she's like a little more down the block. She turns around. Of course, she knows her license plate. She's like, yeah, that's my car. As she's like walking more out the street, the car tries to hit her. Like, it swerves to hit her, and then you see it swerve back in place.
If you were standing at the...
Just.
Kiara Scott claims her sister, Lear Scott, owes for vehicle damage after Lear crashed her car. Lear is countersuing, saying Kiara damaged her car during the pursuit.
Go ahead.
You see that the car was trying to hit her, so now it swerves back in place, and she now is trying to run after the car. So at this point, we're running to the car. She jumps in my seat. I'm in the passenger. We're chasing this car now about 3-4 blocks on. The car, I don't know if it was intentionally because, you know, she was agitated. She was angry at the situation that was going on. Though she crashes into the back of her vehicle and my car.
And that's why you're here, because there was damage to your car as a result of this ridiculousness. That's your lawsuit.
Yes.
By the way, just so that I finish it up, once you crashed the car, did the other car stop with her husband and the girlfriend?
That's how it exactly happened. She got out the car after a while trying to break her way because my car is total now.
What do you mean she broke?
Like, basically, she had to, like, kick my door open to get out the car because of the crash. The airbag exploded, so she couldn't get out the vehicle, like, just by opening the door and getting out. The car is totaled. Airbag exploded. Roof is up.
Okay, so she got out.
She got out. She went directly towards the passenger side, and she pulls out her husband.
Her husband was in the passenger side of her car.
Yep.
And the girlfriend
Was in the
driving.
driver's side. Yes.
Okay. And she went to pull out her husband and...
So she's arguing with him. They're yelling. I'm trying to tell her to calm down. He's trying to tell her to calm down. It turns into like a little scuffle between them. I don't really get into it because it wasn't really a scuffle. It was more of him like, you know, trying to hold her and I guess explain himself or try to talk through the situation, whatever was going on. At this point in time now, she's arguing with me because I'm trying to tell her, like, you know, there's a whole accident here. We need to leave, you feel me, because the cops are gonna come, it's gonna look bad. She's telling me she wants to stay because she works with the law enforcement. So she wants to put the report in that the car was stolen because of the situation with the girlfriend. I leave with my vehicle. I'm telling her to just come with me, though, because I leave with my vehicle.
You left for the total vehicle?
Just a second. You got to learn to control your temper. That's what started the whole problem.
You're right, Your Honor.
You got into your car that you say was totaled.
Yes.
And?
I drove away.
Okay. Where did you go?
I went home.
Okay. Well, home is about 15 minutes away, according to you.
From my sister's address to my address, yes. From the address we were at, you can add an additional 5 to 10 minutes.
So you were 20 or 25 minutes away.
That is correct.
So you drove this totaled car.
Yes.
20 to 25 minutes.
I did, yes, I did.
Oh, that's all I'm asking you. Okay. And you want your sister at this point to take care of the damage to your car.
Yes.
Now, we're going to flip over to the defendant. You received a text message from this woman?
Yeah, Saturday, February 3rd at like 10-something in the morning.
Shh. February 3rd, you received a text message that said what?
Just a picture of him and her kissing together. I have it on my phone, yeah.
Of course you have it on your phone. Would be my screensaver.
She's not very appealing, miss.
Just find the picture. Oh, and the idiot who's taking this picture of them kissing, I assume that's your husband.
Unfortunately.
Good. Returned. How long, Miss Scott, have you and this genius been married?
5 years.
So you see this picture on your phone, and tell me what you did.
I go to him and I'm showing him the picture.
Just a second. So he was home when you got the picture?
Yes.
At what time was it?
Like 10-something in the morning.
What day of the week was it to you?
Saturday morning.
So nobody was working?
No.
So Saturday morning, you show him this picture, and he says...
He's like, Lee, can I talk to you? Because, you know, I'm just red. So he's like, can I talk to you? Can we go outside? Because I don't want to argue in front of the kids. So I go, we go outside. So he's confessing, but he's really not saying who the lady is. But he's basically still lying about the whole thing.
How did he explain the picture? What did he say about the picture?
He just said that was his friend.
Friend from where?
He wouldn't ever tell me. I found out now that I got arrested.
Who got arrested?
I got arrested.
When?
That night.
What did you get arrested for?
I got arrested because my sister beat up the girl. The police wanted me to tell my sister to come back, and I said no. So they said, you getting arrested because she does have bruises on her. So I got arrested for it.
Okay. Your sister wasn't arrested?
No, because I refused to even say that was my sister, to save her.
Shh, just a second. What happened with that case?
I'm still fighting the case right now.
So you have a criminal case pending against you?
Yes.
With regard to this incident?
Yes.
Well, then I'm not going to take any more testimony from you because your lawyer would not like that.
I told my lawyer I was coming on the show.
I don't care. Your lawyer would not like that. And unless you give me your lawyer's number,
I could do that.
and Sarah will call the lawyer. Phone number.
Phone number is 917.
Sarah, you know what to ask her? Tell
No,
her
what
that-
do you want me to-
Tell her that we're here. We're trying this civil case, but the civil case is going to go into the details of what happened on February 3rd and February 4th of this year. I've told her client that I am not comfortable proceeding taking her testimony because that testimony can be used during the course of a criminal proceeding. She has told me that her lawyer is perfectly comfortable with her speaking to me and have a clear, recorded conversation with her about whether or not she has advised her client that she can testify today truthfully to the events of February 3rd and February 4th. Got it? We're going to take 5. Thank you.
Jeremy Scott has accused her sister, Lear Scott, of damaging her vehicle during a pursuit. Lear is countersuing Jeremy, claiming she is the one who crashed into Lear's car.
Sarah?
No answer. I called twice, and the mailbox was a Google mailbox set up, so I didn't feel comfortable leaving.
Okie dokie. Now, Miss Scott, what's the name of the law firm?
I don't know.
Have you paid them any money?
No, it's a public offender.
Public defender where?
In the Bronx County.
Is it public defender? Is it legal aid? Is it
Legal Aid Society.
Legal Aid Society in the Bronx?
I believe so.
What do you mean you believe so?
I believe so, Your Honor. I don't know.
Well, you have to understand that I am not going to allow you to testify any further with regard to what happened on February 3rd and February 4th without first confirming with an attorney that the attorney is dumb enough to say to you, go appear on national television while an assault charge is still pending against you in the Bronx, okay? So I'm not going to ask you any further questions. What I'm going to do is to paraphrase from your sworn statement, which in sum and substance says that the plaintiff was driving the car, not you. While she was driving her own car, she slammed into your car which had in it your husband and his girlfriend. And
Yes.
then she backed up and rammed into your car again. Now, you have a counterclaim. Let's see what your counterclaim is for $7,500 for damage she caused to your vehicle. She's suing you for $7,500 for damage that she claims you caused to her vehicle. I don't have to see anything. You're going to show me that she confessed?
Oh,
You're going to show me pictures? Let me tell you that this is one of those cases where I'm going to quote somebody many years ago who said, "A pox on both your houses." Because there's no question that you were an active participant, madam. So I don't have to consider her. She's done. Her counterclaim is dismissed for all purposes. She went crazy that night. She involved you, she involved another friend, and I don't care if this car, which may or may not be in your name, may or may not be jointly owned, I don't give a rat's behind. That's not the way you deal with a matrimonial case. Deal with a matrimonial case and hiring an investigator or a lawyer and getting out. You don't involve all these people in a midnight search for your husband and his girlfriend, which, by the way, according to you, included trespassing in a 5-story building and going floor to floor, listening for a phone so that
But
you
that's
could
a lie.
Just a second. I told you, say nothing.
We didn't go to every floor, Your Honor. We went to that one floor.
I don't care if you went to 1 floor or you went to 5 floors. You trespassed on private property with intent to commit something. I don't know what, but ultimately that something resulted in a criminal arrest. So I don't care if your car is in 1,000 pieces on Pluto. Keep your nose out of other people's business.
She called me. I wasn't in her business.
No,
I didn't know what was going on with her husband.
Listen.
Until after.
Listen, madam. You knew exactly what you were doing. You told me exactly what you did. You told me that you got into your car, went to her house to pick her up, to go in search of
her car.
That's what you originally told me. There's no question you didn't think that her car was on the 1st floor of a 5-story building in the Bronx. You didn't think a car was there, that they drove up the 5, so you were no longer looking for the car. And you understood exactly what was going on. You even said to me, I try to tell her this is not the way to do it. Didn't you?
When we was there, yes.
Just
I was
a
like,
second.
calm down.
Is that what she said? Go back if you can. I tried to tell her. I tried to discourage her. Don't speak. That's what I have Whitney for. Ridiculousness.
She said, I asked her, are you sure you don't want to go about this, or you want to go about this the right way? Court proceedings,
that's
divorce,
exactly
go about it.
Just a second.
We left out the building to calm her down so we can leave.
So then you leave. After you try to calm her down, then according to you, you could have left. Instead, you were standing on the corner smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
Right. Not getting in your car and leaving. You want to be involved in this nonsense. You be involved in this nonsense. You're a grown-up woman. You want to stay here. I'm not getting involved. I don't care what happened to your car.
You're right.
Your fault. Courts don't help people who get involved with this kind of nonsense, which ultimately, I assume, involved somebody, and I don't want to go any further, getting hurt enough so that there was an arrest for assault.
Nobody got hurt.
You're an idiot. Your case is dismissed. Counterclaims dismissed. Goodbye.
This court is adjourned.
To be truthful, I was just helping my sister, trying to do her a favor. It led from one thing to another. It got out of hand, but here we are now, so.
She's lying about everything. She never said nothing. We didn't go in no building to listen to a phone. How dumb does that sound?
I hope she learns from her mistakes and choose the right person next time. And don't just choose them because you think it's gonna work out.
She's like the rowdy one, yes.
It strained it even more than what it already was.
I'm done. I wish her the best. I love her from a distance.
You know, I'm only a few years out of law school, but even for us newbies, I can't imagine any one of us giving a client permission if they have an ongoing criminal case for anything, especially assault or something where someone ended up injured, coming to a forum like this or even any small claims and giving testimony that could potentially hinder their own defense in a criminal case.
You're absolutely right. What I found interesting was the defendant gave you a 917 number. Now, a 917 number
The cell.
is a cell phone. Now, you know, we've had 2 people in our family who worked in Bronx public defenders in different offices, but in public defenders, for a total of probably 30 years between the 2 of them. Not once do I remember either one of them giving a client their cell phone number. I found that such a lot of baloney.
Yeah. Too many questions.
Yeah, too many
Not enough
questions,
answers.
too many, and it didn't make any difference. They went there for no good, they got no good, they both got damaged cars.
Yeah. Deserved it.
Right.
Yeah.
Case number 3035, Zackerson versus Farber. All parties, please come forward.
Sarabelle Zackerson is suing dog groomer Tracy Farber for negligence after losing her dog, Benji.
Miss Ackerson, you're a dog lover,
Yes,
and for years you had 5 dogs or 4?
5.
What kind did you have?
I have a Maltese poodle, I have a cabin poodle, I have a poodle, Shih Tzu, and some dog I found in the street. I don't know what kind it is, but yeah.
Small dogs.
Yes, it's small. They don't weigh more than 15 pounds.
And for a very long time, Miss Farber has groomed your dogs.
That's correct, just under.
How many years has she groomed your dog?
I can't exact the time, but it's gonna be almost 10 years.
And you usually bring the dogs to her how often?
I never bring my dog to her house, always to their shop. She used to have a business shop they call TLC Grooming, and that's where I bring my dogs over.
When did that change?
December the 1st, I texted her, say, I'm gonna bring my dogs tomorrow, 6 of my babies, to the shop. And then she said, oh, I was about to text you, I'm gonna close the shop for good. And I said, oh, wow, what happened? She said, well, I had to take care of my husband. He's kinda sick with her heart failure stuff. So I don't want to be away from him. So you can bring it to my house and I can groom them. So, and I said, well, I want to send my brother over
So
there.
you were sending 6 dogs?
6. That day I sent 6.
And you decided to have your brother bring them to the house?
That's correct.
And that was on December 2nd?
That was December the 2nd.
Okay, and how long did the dogs usually stay there? For the day?
Say to end of the day because they're 5.
So 1 full day?
Yeah.
How much do you pay her for the 6 dogs?
Depend what you do, because some of them go every week, some of them once a month, some of them twice a month.
How much did she charge for each dog?
If you go once a month, 50. If you go twice, 25.
I see.
Depends.
So there's less work
Yeah.
if you maintain the grooming.
That's correct.
Got it. So on December 2nd, who brought the dogs to her house?
My brother.
Is that this
That's
man
correct.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you step up, please, and tell me your name?
My name is Bishop Bean, and I'm my sister's brother.
You brought the 6 dogs to the defendant's home?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how you brought them into her house.
I brought them up to her and just gave it to her by the sliding door,
How?
just one by one.
So you handed them to her individually, unleashed,
Yeah, by holding them on the
and you just handed them to her?
yeah,
Okay. Where did you pull up in the car?
to the driveway.
You brought them into the door, or she came out?
I brought it to her.
Okay. Did you also pick the dogs up?
I picked 4 of them, but one was missing.
So only 5 were sent
Yeah.
that day. When you went to pick up the dogs, you only saw 4, or did you see 1 and 1 ran away?
When I went to pick up the dog, I only realized that there were 4 and 1 was missing. And when I went to ask,
Where did you go? Did you go inside her house?
I didn't go inside the house.
Well,
I picked it up on the side of the driveway.
how?
They opened the door of the driveway. It's a big sliding door that they have that can open just a little bit, that they can hand me the dog.
She handed you the dogs.
Not her, but the son.
Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, stand up next to your mother. Okay, tell me your name.
Nicholas?
Nicholas, when the plaintiff's brother came to pick up the dogs,
Yes, ma'am.
how many dogs did you give him?
I gave him 4 and asked my coworker to bring out the other one.
You help your mother with grooming?
Not with grooming, but in the mornings I go to a park, pick up dogs that we had scheduled, and then bring them back. Later in the evening, I take them back to the park.
Okay, so you asked a coworker to go get the fifth dog, which was where? In a cage?
And that's what we believed, yes.
What do you mean that's what you believe?
Sarah Bell Zachrinson claims dog groomer Tracy Farber lost her dog Benji while in her care. Tracy is countersuing for the cost of draining her pool.
Okay, so you only turned over 4 dogs
Yes, ma'am.
to the plaintiff,
Yes, ma'am.
plaintiff's brother, and you don't know what happened to the 5th dog,
No, ma'am.
personally.
Personally, no.
And you never saw the 5th dog on the 2nd.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know what happened to the 5th dog?
Yes, ma'am. The 5th dog was released to him. He had dogs in the vehicle and came back to ask me.
Just a second. Were you there?
Well, I was in the salon after the dogs had already been given to him.
Your son only gave him 4 dogs.
But he was not the only one involved in giving the dogs back.
Then you should have brought that person because you weren't there. You should have brought that person because you weren't there.
Should have.
Well, your son says he only turned over 4 dogs. He asked his colleague to bring out the other one. The other one wasn't there. Am I getting that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, so just don't talk to him. He's talking to me. You can have a seat now. Okay. So, Ms. Farber, bottom line is, you can sit down now.
Thank you, ma'am.
The plaintiff's brother, at her direction, brought you 5 dogs. Only 4 were returned to her, so 1 was missing in action on your watch. 1 dog. That's clear. Now, she's suing for the negligence. She doesn't know what happened to that dog. You have a counterclaim that's sort of ridiculous.
Well, I have proof that she says that she lost her dog there.
Just a second.
He misunderstood.
Just a second.
And when he counted, he said that Benji ran out with them. But he said that Benji runs away all the time.
Let me explain something. Let me explain something to you. Your witness that you brought with you today said he only turned over 4 dogs to the plaintiff's agent.
But he wasn't the only one that turned over dogs, and then he leaves that situation to go deal with another situation.
Deal with me, and I've said to you, then you didn't bring the second witness because you weren't there. You didn't bring the second witness to say, I did in fact turn over the dog to him. Did she? Just a second. Did you on December 2nd ever see that dog?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so you're responsible for that dog. Now, the dog was how old?
14 years old.
And what was the breed of that dog?
Maltese Poodle.
When you found out that that dog was missing, I gather you all went back and tried to find it.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
That you all went back to try to find it, and you couldn't locate on your property. How much property do you have, by the way? How many acres property do you have?
It's about 1.5 acres. Do you want to see pictures? It's all...
No, I don't have to see pictures. The dog was missing. That's your problem. That's your problem. The dog was missing under your watch. So there's a question of damages because she's entitled to a certain amount of damage for the loss of her dog. Unfortunately, we talk about replacement value. You know, how much is a multi-poo to replace? I don't know. Could you look up, Sarah?
Sure.
The cost. Give me a general price of the cost of a multi-poo. They're cute.
Just on an initial search, so it looks like $2,000 to $3,000 when purchased from a breeder, but can go up to $4,000 for certain colors and reputation.
Okay, so we talk about replacement value. Replacement value is about $2,000. The dog was 14 years old. I'm not even factoring this in. You had that dog for 14 years?
Yes.
Okay, you're entitled to that. This is what your counterclaim is. Your counterclaim is ridiculous, and I'm dismissing it. You say that you were forced to drain the pool because they thought that maybe the dog fell into the pool, and it cost you $2,800 to drain the pool. I don't care. I don't care if you have to drain your whole house. Your counterclaim's dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
Well, I mean, I'm happy for Sarah Bell. You know that she feels like her grief was compensated.
When she lost my dog, she never told me.
You know, he was a known runaway and didn't have any identification and wasn't chipped.
You lose my dog. It's belonged like my son, you know, my kid. for 14 years old, it means a lot to me.
I wish that we would I've always wished we'd find him.
I miss Benji a lot.
So I have a little issue with the concept, legally overarching, of the replacement value of things, dogs, even loved ones sometimes in wrongful death suits, because it doesn't get to the heart of what you actually lost. So yes, on a brief Google search, I could find a Maltipoo puppy for, say, $2,500, but does that really make up for the 14 years that the plaintiff had with her original dog that the defendant lost in her care? I felt inclined, like I wanted to give her more for that pain and suffering of loss, but that's not what the law gives us as a remedy.
First, she didn't sue for that, but as a dog lover, I can tell you how excruciatingly painful it would be for me to bring Joey to a groomer and come back and they say, I'm sorry, we don't have her. I remember taking a dog many years ago to a groomer, and when I brought her back, she had a cut underneath on her belly. I wanted to go and commit a murder because the groomer hadn't told me about it, but for the fact that I saw drops of blood on my carpet, I wouldn't have seen it. So, it was a dog lover, and clearly this plaintiff was a dog lover because she methodically had them all groomed.
She was talking about twice a month on occasion.
Twice a month, sometimes once a week. She clearly loved her animals and was careful with them. If she had this dog for 14 years, that's a pretty full lifespan for a dog. But very traumatic. You bring 5 babies in and you only get 4 back. I'm sure it wasn't purposeful on the defendant's part because she had been a great groomer and the plaintiff liked her. But she's responsible for the replacement.
I agree.
Case 3047, Blake versus Brzezinski. All parties, please step forward.
Edwin Blake is suing business owner Kyle Brzezinski for property damage and filing a false lien on his property.
Mr. Blake, you are a landlord and you have several rental units. One of the units that you have has been occupied by Mr. Brzezinski's cousin for the last 10 years. And she's been a reasonable paying tenant. We've had no difficulty. Is she still your tenant?
She is.
And Mr. Brzezinski, who is her cousin, never lived in that unit.
Correct.
How many rental units do you have altogether, sir?
At this time, I have 5.
Are they all in the same building?
No, they're individual houses, and I have one that's in Florida, condo that I rent as well. So that's one of the 5.
So Mr. Brzezinski's cousin lives in one of your houses?
Correct.
This is what your lawsuit is about, sir. It is your claim that Mr. Brzezinski, without your authority, did renovations in that house in a bathroom. And when he asked you for payment for the renovation, you said, I never authorized the renovation. I'm not paying you for renovation that I never authorized. He put a lien on your house. And when did he put the lien on the house?
It would have been February when he executed the
February of
23. Correct.
And when was the work done on the house?
In December.
Of 22.
22, correct.
Mr. Brzezinski says that you did, in fact, authorize the work, that he had an absolute right to put a lien on your property. He's got a counterclaim for $10,000 for the work that he did. Okay, so Mr. Brzezinski, actually the ball is in your court.
Okay.
When for the first time did you meet Mr. Blake?
I've never met Mr. Blake.
Okay, so this is the first time.
This is the first time.
And what kind of business are you in?
I am in construction and general maintenance.
Who do you work for?
Myself.
In what state?
Wisconsin.
Are you a licensed contractor?
Yes, I am.
What's the name of your company?
K&K Pristine Exteriors.
Could you check that for me, please?
Sure.
And how long have you been in business?
2 to 3 years.
What did you do before that?
I've done all sorts of construction beforehand. Glass and glazing was the most recent one.
So you've never met Mr. Blake. So any conversations you had with him were either over the phone or via texts or emails?
Everything was through his maintenance guy, Mike Bennon, who is his witness.
Ma'am, he's not my maintenance guy.
Just a second.
Okay.
So you've never personally had a conversation with the plaintiff?
That is correct.
That's a big problem for you, sir. Now, you've been in the construction business. You have a company. Sarah's looking up the company. I assume you have a website. Is that right?
Yes.
The area of the house that you worked on was the bathroom for your cousin. I want you to tell me when for the first time you saw your cousin's bathroom.
Probably about 9 years ago, right after she started
Just a second.
renting.
And more recently?
More recently would be August.
I want to know how it came about Mr. Brzezinski,
Yes.
that you saw the bathroom. Did your cousin call you? Were you over there for a visit? I want to know how it came about, since you had no contact with him.
Well, her and Mike had called me about how the bathroom was in such poor condition.
Who's Mike?
Mike Bennon is his witness sitting right there, which would also be my cousin's boyfriend.
Oh, just... oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just a second. So this man, you say, is your cousin's boyfriend.
Yes.
And either she or he called you to come and look at the bathroom.
That is correct.
Okay. Was he living there at the time?
No, he just stays there every so often.
How long have you known him?
I have known him once she introduced me, which would be a month or two before, in August.
In August?
Yes, that's when the first conversation about this renovation being done took place.
Okay, so
August 19th.
Just a second. So this is the boyfriend.
Yes.
According to what you know.
Yes.
Of your cousin,
That's
who you
correct.
know is a renter.
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened, sir? I want to know how it came about that you did the renovation, since you had no conversation with him at all personally, and you met him only for the first time today.
Edwin Blake claims business owner Kyle Brzezinski damaged his rental home and filed a false lien on his property.
Okay, so now the ball is in your court.
August 19th, they had called to have me come meet and look at the bathroom, which I did. And Mike was there too, as well, had us look at it and said, I go, yes, I can do that. And he said what he wanted done to the bathroom. So leave the tub.
You mean this man told you that?
Yes,
Okay.
leave the tub and leave the tile up the wall halfway. And then he was doing window work on the apartment, on the house, replacing the windows. So they offered to leave the dumpster there so they didn't have an extra charge with the dumpster, because there was a dumpster on site. I said I cannot get to it right now. It would be late November, December before I'd be able to get onto this. So as time went, they got a hold of me and wanted me to come help grab a toilet.
Who they? You mean
Mike,
your cousin?
Mike got a hold of me.
And as far as you know, he's still dating your cousin.
As far as I know.
Okay, go ahead.
So Mike had me come meet up with him to pick up a toilet from another one of Blake's units to use on my cousin's remodel.
So he found a toilet for you.
Yep, from another one of his rentals.
You know anything about that? No. Just check. You know anything about the other toilet? That's all I'm asking you.
I do.
Okay. Go ahead. I'll get to you in a second. Just maybe.
So I did that, and then conversation came back in November when I said, I got time to do this now. Is this good to go? And I got a yes from my cousin saying that Blake had authorized it, and a yes from Mr. Bennon saying it was authorized to go ahead and do the remodel. So then I started on the remodel in December.
You can't do that. You can't do that, Mr. Brzezinski. Sue your cousin. Your cousin authorized you to do work in the bathroom. He never authorized you to do anything.
Mr. Mike Bennon was acting as the agent.
Oh, no, sir. That may have been a giant leap for you. You said you had a conversation with your cousin.
Yes.
And she said, okay, go ahead and do it. And you did it.
Yes.
Did I get that right? She said.
She said, go ahead and do it.
She said, go ahead and do it. Sue her. You're not losing. What do you want to interfere for?
Okay.
Your cousin said, go ahead and fix my bathroom. Sue her if she didn't pay you. You can't put a lien on his property. That's fraudulent. That can get you in real trouble, sir. If you have a license in the state of where? Wisconsin?
Yep.
Yeah? They can lift your license for that. Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Because I'm going to send them an order.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand what you're thinking. You knew she was a renter.
Yep.
You say I have to get a contract with the owner of the house to do that. You've been in the business. You said 2.5 years. You have a company for him?
I couldn't get to the website because it was a spam risk to go to the website, but I have a Nextdoor page for the business with a little blurb on their story that doesn't really read professional. It reads more hobby-based.
Got it.
He does landscaping.
It's mostly landscaping.
Mostly landscaping.
His license
By the way, do you?
Qualifier.
By the way, in Wisconsin, I know I've had to renovate bathrooms and I've done bathroom renovations, and all of that requires permitting. Did you pull permits on this? Think very carefully. Did you pull permits on this bathroom?
No, I did not.
No. But you were required to pull permits
There
on
was
the
a
bathroom.
permit pulled for the renovations being done already on the house.
You, in the bathroom, didn't pull permits?
Nope.
No. Well, this is a very easy case. I don't even have to ask about a toilet. You didn't have to open your mouth. Mr. Brzezinski.
Yep.
I am sending an order to
the Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
That's where it's going. And it's going to be a strong order. It's going to indicate that you had no permission from the owner of the property to do any work on the property. That's what I found. You've signed off on that, on any judgment that I make, that you sued the wrong person because the owner of the property never gave you permission to do any work, that you did work without pulling permits, and I'm directing them to remove the lien on his house. Do you understand?
Yes.
Great. Now go sue your cousin to get paid. Got it?
Yep.
Yeah, you're trying to scam him. You can't do that. You can't do work for somebody and then say, now I want to get paid. I've never spoken to you, but now I want to get paid. And if you don't pay me, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make your life miserable by putting a lien on your house. And by the way, if you get me a number, I'll call them as well. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Lien will be removed.
This court is adjourned.
Well, he sent me a bill and he threatened to sue me, but he didn't sue me, and instead of suing me, he put a lien on my property. I didn't even know he was doing it, and I get a bill for this big amount of money to pay for a job I didn't ask for, and the work was just absolutely terrible. I'm not saying he's a crook in general, but in this case, he tried scamming me. Happy it's over.
So I hope I made it clear what I found. I couldn't find a website on the defendant's LLC, but I did find a Nextdoor page, which is just a business page. It's for neighbors to get ideas. If you're looking for a contractor or a landscaper, neighbors can post on there and give suggestions. So I found his page on there, but in the About Us or Our Story section of his business, it says that he started out landscaping because his mother had a vegetable garden, and then he was good with his hands, so he made it a career choice. But it all seemed very hobby-based and more landscape-based
rather than construction.
A licensed contractor able to redo an entire bathroom. But you know, I think the right thing happened. He can't file a lien on someone's property, and
come on, that you've never spoken to.
Exactly. I was surprised at his position because I know we spoke about this before, and we thought he was going to come in saying that he had all these documents signed with the plaintiff and conversation. Never seen him before today. Just met him for the first time, so kind of was dead in the water before he got there.
We'll do that order, and I'm confident that it'll work.
Yeah.
That they'll remove the lien from his house. Yeah. You had this disagreement?
Her son was playing with the dog. He kind of sit next to me and he was playing with some slime. And I'm like, what is that? He said, Daisy busted the ball. I said, give me that ball. And it was my breast implant.
You kept your old breast implants?
Absolutely.
Why?
Why not? I mean...
This is Judy Justice. Naomi Jackson is suing her former roommate, Gianna Rodriguez, for property damage caused by Gianna's 5-year-old son.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3083, Jackson versus Rodriguez.
Thank you. Miss Jackson, you have your own home?
I do.
You own the home or rent it?
I own it.
You have a mortgage?
No.
You and the defendant met, you became friends, and you invited her and her 5-year-old child, who she shares custody with father, to live with you and share expenses.
Yeah.
When did you do that?
She was a tenant of mine, is how we met. That was 2 years ago, back in 22. And it was her boyfriend that I rented to. Okay, but
that's not that far afield.
She wanted to move out of where she was living because school's got to start. And I said, well, why don't you come live with me? I have a 6-bedroom house. I live by myself. So I said, well, why don't you come live with me? So it's spread the moment.
When did she come to live with you?
2022, January, February?
No, it was...
In 2022, the beginning of 2022?
23, sorry.
23?
Yes. 22 when she was a tenant.
No, 23 she came to live with you?
With me, correct.
And where are you living now?
I now live with my cousin somewhere else.
Since when?
Since June.
Is that when you had this disagreement?
Yeah, when we got into the argument. And I told her that I was going
and this is what you got into an argument about. Now, Miss Jackson, It is your claim that the defendant's 5-year-old, who she was not supervising adequately, got into your bedroom, and in your closet you kept your old breast implants, ones that you had had removed because you got different ones.
Correct.
And you kept them for no particular reason. You weren't using them again. It's a sentimental reason that you kept the breast implants. And it is your claim that her son got into the room, got into the box where you kept them, took it and was playing with it with the dog, and they were destroyed.
Correct.
Okay, and you want her to pay for the breast implants.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because why not? I mean, they were my breast implants.
Yeah.
Those are my property.
Yeah. How much did you pay for them?
The time when I did that surgery?
Yes.
I paid $3,500. But I paid, by surgery to get them taken out, I paid $4,000.
No, but the new ones put in. I'm just talking, I don't care taking them out. That has no relevance to this whatsoever. So you paid $3,500 for them. When? What year?
I did them back in 2000. Those silicone, I did back in 2012.
Okay. So now they're teenagers.
Who's teenagers? Oh.
Breast implants.
Yes. No, I had it for 7 years.
So you replaced them after 7 years. So you replaced them in 2019.
Yes, the current ones I have now. I got those taken out
just
2019.
So you replaced them in 2019.
Yes.
And you want the original cost of them.
Sure.
Okay, well, you don't get that. Now, you want to tell me this incident happened in June. Let's just be quick about it, please, because I have other things to do today. You heard some noise.
You said the original cost.
You heard,
it's not like the value of them went down. If anything, it's higher to get them replaced, the silicone implant.
Sound ridiculous. It was in June of this year that this incident occurred?
It happened in May.
23.
Okay. And you heard some noise, and when you looked outside, when you looked in the house, you found her son playing with your dog?
I was sitting down watching TV.
And?
Behind me, her son was playing with the dog. He kind of sit next to me, and he was playing with some slime. And I'm like, what is that? I didn't want it on the couch. So I said, what is that? He said, Daisy busted the ball. I said, give me that ball, because like I said, I didn't want it all over the place, all over the couch. And it was my breast implant.
Okay. And where had they been?
They were in my closet in a medical sealed bag.
Okay. Now, did Miss Jackson tell you about what happened that day?
No, she never once, Your Honor, mentioned that she had silicones in a bag. Not to mention that they were in a closet reachable for a 5-year-old child to get to.
My closet.
Plus,
my closet.
No. And plus, my dog is there too. Not to mention, if they busted, something could have happened to him.
That's a shoulda, woulda, coulda. There isn't a question, Miss Rodriguez, in your mind that due to your 5-year-old's actions, she lost a piece of her property.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So now we have to put a value on that piece of property, which is not $3,500. So you kept these breast implants, which you cannot use again because they can't be used again. You kept them for sentimental reasons.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And they can't be replaced for sentimental reasons. Once they're gone, correct? Once they're gone, they're gone. I mean, if sentimental, you can't reuse them. You can't resell them. They are of no...
Resell them. I mean, I could probably reuse them if I wanted to.
Oh, I don't think you can.
And later today, Naomi Jackson is accusing her former roommate, Gianna Rodriguez, of refusing to pay for her old breast implants after Gianna's 5-year-old son destroyed them.
Now, you can't reuse them. You can't sell them. You can't turn them back to the manufacturer.
I paid for them.
I understand that you paid for them. Let's say you had a car and the car was unusable, but you had gotten it from a parent, from an old boyfriend, from somebody, so you kept it in the garage. It couldn't be sold. It couldn't be driven. You kept it because you liked to look at it. And let's say her son, instead of your breast implants, got into the car and got bubble gum on the seat. Is he going to pay for the car? It's unusable. It's undrivable. It's incapable of being traded, negotiated for anything. It may have sentimental reason for you, but it has no extrinsic value to anybody else. So what do you think you're entitled to for
Well, it has
losing.
value to everything else, but it has value to me, and it cost me money to get it. So I don't agree with just like.
Very good.
So just let it
Very
go.
good. Your son should not have destroyed her property. Do you understand?
Correct.
Whether it was negligence on your part for not watching the 5-year-old, I don't know. You don't keep an eye on a 5-year-old all the time. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1. Thank you very much. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
$1? I paid $4,000 for my breast implants. $1?
I am happy today. I am thankful that it was in my favor for the dollar.
So I can go bust people's implants and don't have to pay for it?
I'm pretty sure it was silicone, and that's toxic. It's poisonous. So I'm just thankful that my dog and my child wasn't harmed.
I'm very upset.
Well, she was pretty upset.
$1 for my breast implants? I paid $4,000? I'm very angry.
If you left them in the closet, it's like a pair of shoes in a closet. They're just sitting there waiting to be played with.
Ridiculous. All right. Your friend set up a website for you.
That's correct.
It was redirected to a porn site.
And I have a video I could show you. It's explicit.
Listen, I'm a big girl. I've seen practically everything.
And he is also the only one with the capability to do that.
People can hack into the Pentagon.
This is Judy Justice. Ryan Deitch is suing his former friend, Oliver Miller, for damages after Oliver sabotaged his website.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3089, Deitch versus Miller.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Deitch, how long have you known Mr. Miller?
It's been since 7th grade, Your Honor. So what does that make, 8 years now?
Oh, my God, have people changed in
I know.
just a few years?
Tell me about it.
7th grade, teeny people. You went through middle school together and high school?
That's correct.
Did you do any post-high school schooling?
Not together. We go to different universities, but we've
Which
remained.
school?
I go to DePaul University.
Are you still there?
I'm still there, that's right.
What year are you in?
I'm a senior.
And you, sir?
I'm a senior at Purdue University.
So this is what the case is about. Some time ago, according to you, your friend, without compensation, I assume, because there was nothing about compensation in here, set up a website for you, this friend. At some point, there was an issue of cats.
Mm-hmm.
The defendant has 2 cats.
That is correct.
And he was going away on vacation, and he asked you if you would mind the 2 cats.
Yeah, that's correct.
When was that?
That was on July 26th of 2023.
Where was he going?
He was going to Hawaii, Maui, actually.
Who were you going with?
I was going with my brother and my mother.
What did you tell him you needed him to do for the 2 cats?
I told him he needed to come over to the house, feed them, just make sure they're doing fine, hang out for a few minutes, and then that's it.
How many times a day?
Once a day.
Feed them once a day, change water,
Right.
clean up the kitty litter.
That's correct.
Were they indoor, outdoor cats?
Indoor cats.
Now, before you left on vacation, did you give your friend, Mr. Deitch, the instructions on what he had to do?
Yes, Your Honor. Over text, and I have it here. If
I'd like to see it.
Great. Yes.
You talk about 1 cat, Rooney.
Yes, Your Honor. She's the more excited one out of the 2. The other one, Stella, really just doesn't need any attention.
You're asking him if he would watch Rooney. Take her out once a day, and he says, feed her and clean the litter box. That's a question. And you said, yeah, it should be pretty easy. Okay. And you left on vacation, and according to your countersuit, the plaintiff was negligent. The cats got out. They were gone for a week. You were hysterical because the cats were not located for a week. But Mr. Deitch's claim is that when you came home from Hawaii and found that the cats were missing, because both cats were missing at that time, when did you come home from Hawaii?
I came home on the 14th of August. We originally planned to be back on the 8th of August, but we were stranded in Hawaii during the Maui wildfires, so we were unable to make it back until the 14th.
And when you came back, you found that both cats were missing.
That's right.
Mr. Deitch says after you found both cats were missing, you got slightly hysterical, as would most people who are cat lovers and find their animals missing, and that in retaliation for that, you did something to the website that you had created for him that when people went to it, instead of clicking onto the website, which Sarah is going to try to explain to me, instead of clicking onto the website and going to the informational portion of the website, it was redirected to a porn site, and that was done in retaliation for his negligently allowing your cats to be lost. That's your claim. Now you're going to tell me about your website. Your website is for what?
So my website is pretty much my professional self. I don't apply to a job. I really don't meet someone professionally without showing them my website. It's sort of...
Well, what is your website?
It's a portfolio site.
Would you give it to Sarah so she can bring it up?
So it's basically a site...
no, not basically. Basically is a filler word.
Okay,
a website has an address.
It is a website that features a little bit about me, my contact information.
Name.
Is the name of the website. I can spell it for you if necessary.
I got it. It does, in fact, come up.
Okay.
It's basically a professional work page.
Oh, okay.
So you put it on a business card
and
so
then
people
you
can find more information.
And then what do you press for it to transition you to...
Launch portfolio.
There's like a contact page, an about page with some more information, some credits
It seems
that
to be
I have.
working correctly now.
Oh, okay. Now, your lawsuit says that somebody hacked into your web page so that when you press this informational web page about what you do, what projects you've done in the past, and they say, oh, my God, this is a nice-looking guy, looks okay, let's see what he's done, because he's applied for a job or something else. They press a button, and it took you to a porn site. So I want to see that.
I have an email from a recruiter who emailed me after she got redirected.
Well, why didn't you take photographs of what it was on the screen? That's very easy.
Okay, I mean, I have a video I could show you. It's explicit, though. I don't know.
Listen, I'm a big girl. I'm 81 years old. I've seen practically everything,
phone.
Although that's probably not true. They're developing new things all the time.
Ryan Deitch is accusing his former friend, Oliver Miller, of intentionally sabotaging his website. Oliver is countersuing for negligence and emotional distress, claiming Ryan lost his cat.
Okay. If you have the video, I'd like to take a look at it.
Here it is. So she'll just press that play button right there. Do you want the volume on or off?
Okay, so push the play button.
Ah, well, that's not terribly pornographic.
I would describe it as woefully inappropriate for a professional setting.
I believe that you're right. You can put that back. Now, at what point, on what day did you first notice that?
So that was on August 24th, and I didn't even notice it on my own. Like I said, I received that email from a recruiter at a company.
Okay, can I see the email?
Yes, of course.
Okay, this woman, whoever this is, wrote to you and said, this looks like a bad joke, and I wasn't even going to reach out to you, but then I thought it would be fair to reach out to you because I'm sure you didn't know that this happened.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Did you answer her?
I mean, I did.
No, did you? You know where I'm going. This Bethany allegedly wrote this to you, and if I were in business looking for a job, I would immediately contact her. Did you do that?
I did, but by that point, they'd already offered the job to someone else.
I don't care. I just want to see when you reached out to her.
I don't think I have that. It was over the phone. I called her.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
How's that? Goody-goody? Are we getting goody-goody? Are we getting close to what's going on? I knew it would just take me a little bit of time, guys. I knew it would just take me a little bit of time. Okay, so you don't have what would any normal business person who has set themselves up would have, which is an immediate response. Oh, Bethany, thank you. I'm so glad you directed me to this.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it down right away. Is the job still available? All of that would be here because that's the way you do it, which you don't have.
No, I don't. I mean, it was a couple days later that I was notified of that, and I called her. But like I said, the job had already been offered. There really wasn't much I could do at that point.
Nice pivot.
I
nice
describe
pivot.
it as that.
Nice pivot.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let us assume, for the purpose of this case, that this did in fact happen. What proof do you have that the defendant hacked into your computer and redirected it to this other site, which is clearly an inappropriate site for somebody looking for a techie job?
So he actually admitted it to me over the phone, and he is also the only one with the capability to do that. And
no, he's not the only one with the capability, sir. People can hack into the Pentagon.
That's true, but he wouldn't have to hack. He literally...
Well, he wouldn't have to, but you can.
He controls it.
But you can. When you received this email, you didn't respond to the person who sent it. How did you communicate with him?
I called him and I texted him as well. I was very upset.
Well, just a second. Now I'll see the text.
Okay. This is it. It's at the bottom.
I assume that you wrote him, this is serious, on August 24th. Is there any response to this?
She did not respond.
He did not respond to that. So bottom line is you really have no proof that he hacked into this. So how long did that website, let's say it was August 24th, that you noticed it, and he came home on August 14th, not finding his cats. When was it taken down?
On August 25th is when it was restored. But I assume it was put to that inappropriate site soon after he got back, maybe 10, 9.
You can't assume anything. That's a guess.
Correct. That's a guess.
That's a guess. But it was taken down August 25th and put up again August 26th.
Yeah, it was restored.
Now, what I want you to do is tell me, now we have September, October, November, December, right up past January. Just for my own information, how many jobs have you had from this website? Name, person, and how much you were paid from this website since August 26th. It can't be a lot.
Yeah, I'm a college student.
Okay. It can't be a lot. So it has to be a handful. A handful you would remember.
0.
0. Okay, that's very good. That helps me a lot. That helps me a lot because there are no damages for this business. Okay, now we're going to go to your counterclaim.
Great.
Great, right?
Yes.
Terrific. He was negligent in taking care of your cats and they got out.
He was negligent.
I just said to you, that's a yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got home and you didn't find your cats.
That's correct.
One cat came back relatively quickly.
That's correct.
Which cat?
Stella.
Because Stella's a homebody.
That's correct.
And the other one sort of enjoyed his freedom.
Yes, she enjoyed her freedom.
She enjoyed her freedom. And she was out for how long?
7 days.
And then she came home.
That's right, Your Honor.
Had she look happy?
She was happy to be back, but...
Happy to be back, so she decided to come home.
That's right, Your Honor.
And you have them both now?
Yes, yes.
Good. So your counterclaim's dismissed, as is your claim, sir. You can't prove it. We're done.
Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Your Honor.
We are finished. Finito.
May I draw upon my witness?
No.
This court is adjourned.
I trusted a friend, and that was really my only mistake here.
He was lying the entire time. I don't know why a good friend would do that after I helped him build his website, and he just tried to stab me in the back.
I'm a very forgiving person, so I hate to count it out completely, but things are not looking good for us.
You know, I think he got a bit of karma there, and I'm glad he, hopefully missed out on something, but I did not do it.
You know, I'm not so sure about that case. Let us assume that everything was as presented. Mm-hmm. The plaintiff had absolutely no damage that he could prove. He might have done that.
Sure.
You know, you lost my cats, I'm going to screw around with your webpage, and I'm absolutely certain that they are going to have dinner tomorrow night together.
I'm sure as well.
I'm sure.
I was coming from being chased.
There was no speeding car following you. They should have been right behind you.
I turned, and I guess maybe they kept going straight.
I guess not.
Yeah. This is Judy Justice. Andre Skates is suing motorist Melissa LaChapelle for vehicle and property damage.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Judge, case 3132, Skates versus LaChapelle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. LaChapelle, I'm going to start with you because this case is relatively simple. You hit his parked car and moved it from the street where it was by virtue of the force of the hit onto somebody else's lawn.
Yes, ma'am.
And the date that you did that was May 1st of last year. What time of the day?
I believe it was in the afternoon.
What do you mean you believe it was in the afternoon? How many times have you hit a parked car?
My first.
Well, then I would know what time it was. Approximately what time was it on May 1st?
Around 2, 3 o'clock.
In the afternoon?
Yes.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from being chased.
Where were you coming from?
Prior to the accident, I was just sitting in a parked car. So I was driving, and I had a conference call come in, so I just pulled over so I don't
You
drive
pulled over
far.
randomly and parked where?
On Florence and Western.
How far is that from where you hit his parked car?
Maybe about a couple of miles.
Did it take you 5 minutes to get there? 10 minutes to get there? How long were you traveling?
15 minutes.
So you were driving for 15 minutes from the time your car was parked until you got to where you hit his car?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of car were you driving?
A Dodge Journey.
Was it your car?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it totaled as a result of this accident?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you're going to tell me the story that you're going to tell me about the circumstances surrounding your hitting his parked car.
Well, on September 16th of 2022, I had a hair appointment. I showed up at my hairdresser, and there was no show, no call. So moving forward, I set an appointment with another young lady in the salon, and I got my hair done. And so when I reached to make the payment to pay her, I came across being scammed. So I explained to
Came across being?
Scammed, like someone hacked my bank account for the funds.
Okay, and you have proof of that from your bank?
No, I do not have that.
So the
My
answer
bank
is,
account.
just a second. So the answer is, you do not have any proof as to the beginning of this story?
No,
Okay.
I have no proof of the bank account being hacked.
Well, but you showed the hairdresser, according to you, that your bank account had been hacked. That's why you couldn't pay her.
Correct.
Well, I'm just asking you for proof of that.
No, I don't have it on me.
So you don't have it?
No.
Well, that's easy enough to get. If your bank account was hacked, we're not talking about 30 years ago, we're talking about a year and a half ago. So you would have had that, if the story you're giving me is true. What's the name of the hairdresser? Have you ever used her since?
No, never.
No. What was the name of the hairdresser that you had an appointment with that you didn't see that day? Have you seen her since?
Not since the incident of wrecking his car. I seen her on that day.
So you haven't seen either the person you were supposed to see or the person you stiffed in September of 2022,
No.
right? And then, allegedly, on the day of this incident, you saw one of them?
Yes.
Yes. As you were sitting in a parked car where you had randomly pulled over to make a conference call. I'm just following the story. And then what you said in your answer was these people started to chase you.
They started to vandalize and attack me in my car first.
So you took off.
Yes.
Now, you had been on a conference call. Did you stop the conference call?
I
Just a
dropped
second.
the phone.
The answer is you stopped the conference call.
Yes.
But you still had your phone.
Yes.
And somebody was chasing you, according to you, for 15 minutes in your car where you were with your phone. Just want to know that.
Yes, ma'am.
Someone was chasing you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a lot of baloney. Okay, so you hit his parked car. And this was a 1981 Oldsmobile Cutlass, is that right?
Yes.
That you had been working on, restoring. Now, when had you purchased it?
I purchased it in, when did I purchase that? It was
Just a second, the questions get harder. When had you purchased it? A month before, a week before, a year before?
2.5 years ago.
When you purchased the car, who did you purchase it from?
I don't have his last name, but I have it in my phone. But his name was Jose, and he was from San Diego, and that's where I purchased it from.
And how much did you pay him for the car?
I paid him $10,000 for it.
And you also have proof of that?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Well, I don't have proof of I don't think I brought the bill of sale with me, though. That sucks. I know you needed that. Do I got the bill of sale? No, I don't have the bill of sale. Hold on. Let me see what's in my phone from that date. Where'd it go down?
Yes or no, sir? That's a very easy thing. Don't waste my time here if you don't have a bill of sale in your phone.
I don't have it in my phone.
Okay, very good. And you don't have it there. Okay.
Andre skates. Claims motorist Melissa LaChapelle owes for damages after Melissa struck his classic Oldsmobile Cutlass. Melissa says she was fleeing from a dangerous situation.
Now, you say that you were notified that your car was hit. You were either on your way to or from work. What kind of work do you do?
Security.
And you left your house. I assume it's a private house. Do you rent or do you own?
I rent.
How much do you pay in rent?
$1,000.
To whom?
To the landlord.
How do you pay him?
I pay him through Cash App.
And you were driving to work, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of car do you have?
2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT.
Do you have a note on the car, or do you owe it free and clear?
Yes, I do have a note on it.
And you pay for your car payment from a bank account, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'd like to see your bank account where you paid $10,000 for this car.
Oh, you'd like to see it? Oh.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that. Because I assume if I said to you, could I see a check for the $10,000, you don't have a check.
No, because I
No,
pay cash.
just a second. Well, you don't carry $10,000 in cash because you can transfer the cash just like you do for your landlord.
Yes,
right?
yes. And you don't want to carry
for
that
your
much.
car payment. So that's the way your generation, not mine, but your generation pay things. They walk over to a machine and they go like this with their phone, and it's paid. So you pay your other bills that way, sir. So you don't walk around with cash. I want to see where you had $10,000 in the bank 2 years ago.
I know you're going to ask me that. Okay.
You want to see a photo?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, Audubon Classics. So tell me how much this is. Oldsmobile Cutlass. Okay.
So they range. There's some that are very expensive, like $28,000 that I've seen that are fully restored. And then there are some, like this one was $22,000. But then there's
This
some,
is the 81, yeah.
Yeah, but then there are some that were not restored that I saw for about $8,000 or $9,000.
Mm-hmm. Not restored.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Wiley's looking. You have a copy of the police report?
No, we didn't have a police report because no one was injured.
That's not why you don't have a police report on that kind of an accident. Could have killed somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Skates, let's go. Do you have it or do you not have it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it. It was 2 years ago, so I got to go all the way back.
Well, you should have had it with you. You're suing her for $10,000. So all I want to see is how much you paid for the car. You say you paid $10,000.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have a bill of sale. I just want to see where you had $10,000 in the bank and then it was paid out to Jose. You do understand, Mr. Skates, that would be on you. You have a whole bunch of papers there. You do not have a bill of sale on the car. You don't have any proof of what you paid for the car except your word that you paid $10,000 for it. It's very easy to go back and get those records. We're not talking about 30 years ago.
No.
I know. You got a whole lot of papers there that are irrelevant. And your insurance company, according to you, valued the car at $3,500 and paid you because you did have insurance on it.
Yes.
So all I want to see is what you paid for it.
No, I'm trying to...
Just a second. You have a video of this accident?
Yeah, I do.
Keep looking.
Okay, all right.
Do you have a video of this accident?
Yes, I do.
Play it. I want to see what the car looked like. Play it one more time. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm just looking, by the way, Miss LaChapelle, for the people who are chasing you. Because now you hit the car, they should have been right behind you. They were chasing you, right? I'm looking at this, and now you're all slowed down because you fit a car. I don't see one car pass by there. Not a one.
Correct.
Yes, correct. Of course, it's correct.
I turned, and they, I guess maybe they kept going straight. And then that's when I had the accident.
I guess not. Okay. Mr. Skates, I want to tell you, your exercise in exploring your phone to find proof that you paid $10,000 for this car is going nowhere. Got it?
Yes.
Now, you insured the car, correct? This old car, because it was going to have value once you restored it.
Yes.
Now, restored, the average price is about $10,000. That's what Sarah tells me, correct?
It ranges, but I could find a couple if you want.
No, it ranges 9, 10, 11. It can go anywhere around that amount. But that's fully restored, right?
Well, restored means like when that's mint condition. Like, cause when it's in mint condition, that's how much it would go for, like 9 or 10,000. But the features that were on the car were extra couple little features that people like on those cars, which is the stick in the floor and the T-top features that are on there that people
I have
like
no idea, sir. Show me what the car looked like before she hit it.
There you go, right here. This is the one with the rims. Here goes one.
Oh, that's good looking. Now, when you bought the car, sir, was it running? Were you able to drive it back from Jose's?
No, I had to get it towed.
So when you bought it, it was not running.
No.
So you didn't pay $10,000 for it.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I don't believe that, sir. There's one car available for sale that's a 1981 Oldsmobile Cutlass that's drivable, that's $5,100, not fully restored. That's today.
That's why I was saying the features that it has on
I don't care about the features. You bought a non-running car that had to be restored to running so that you could resell it. You hoped for a profit, but there's no way you spent $10,000 on the car, because then if you were putting in all new parts and restoring it, you would never be able to recoup your money.
Yes, you can.
No.
Can I explain? Because I put a lot of money into it, and the resale value once.
Just a second.
Okay.
So far, I don't believe that you paid $10,000 for it, not running. Now you're going to show me what you put into the car.
Okay.
You see, if you told me the truth, sir, and if the insurance company only paid you $3,500, I would have paid you what the value of a non-running car would be, plus everything that you put into it, less the $3,500 that the insurance company paid you for it. So if you have everything that you put into it, the only thing you don't have is what you paid for it. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct on that part.
Okay, so now let me see what you put into it.
Oh.
Trace Gates has accused motorist Melissa LaChapelle of crashing into his classic Oldsmobile Cutlass. Melissa claims she was being chased by another vehicle.
Now, all of your receipts for the car parts that you purchased total $9,393. Less the $3,500 that you were paid by your insurance leaves just for the parts alone $5,893. Even if you paid $5,000 for the car, you're at $10,000. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if you would given me a figure that I understood, because right now you want me to believe that a man who works very hard in security paid $10,000 for the car and $10,000 for parts.
Yes.
And the average range for the car is?
Between 9 and 18.
Between 9 and 18,000.
Yes.
To buy a restored car, and you've already put in $20,000 in the car before you sold it. And I don't even know if it was ready to be sold. Do you understand?
That's how much I was going to sell it for. It was like $20,000. That's what I was trying to explain.
Just so I understand that. You've already, if you want me to believe, sir, that you bought the car for 10, you're already at 20. So even if you sold the car for its highest price, which is 20, you'd be breaking even. That's not what you bought it for.
Well, no.
You bought it to make money.
No, I bought it to keep it, actually, because it was a sentimental value. I said I bought it to keep it because this was something that I wanted to have for a while, because this was something that was kind of sentimental to me, because we all used to ride these cars when I was younger, so it was something that I kind of enjoyed and liked, and I wanted to keep it. I wasn't planning on selling it right away once I finished.
How old are you?
44.
So what you're telling me is you remember driving around in this car when you were 2 years old?
No, in my 20s.
You know, I want to introduce you both to the truth. Hello, how are you? I understand who you are. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Skates, you're owed some money from her, even though you've inflated some figures. She owes you some money. Do you have any reports from the police on this?
I have the vehicle incident report.
I'd like to see it, please. Can I see just the proof from your insurance company, please, of what they paid you out on the car? And her insurance paid you, is that right?
No.
Was your insurance?
Oh, you said my insurance? Yeah, my insurance paid me, not her.
Why didn't you? Hey.
Her insurance paid me.
Put your phone down.
Oh, I have it on my email.
Why didn't your insurance pay him out?
I didn't have insurance. I was switching my insurance policy to a new company.
Oh.
And I got
So
into
just
an
a second.
accident.
So when there was a traffic report, you told the police you had AAA insurance, because that's what's in the report.
No, they asked me for my information, and that's what I told them.
Well, I said that's what you told them. You told them that you had insurance and AAA was your insurance company.
Well,
and that's a lie.
The paperwork.
Just a
that I
second.
had.
That's a lie. You told them that you had insurance and you didn't have insurance, And there was no speeding car following you.
I did not tell them I had insurance. I told them the truth, that the same thing I told you.
No, you didn't, because then they would have given you a summons for driving your car without insurance if you created the kind of an accident. Did they give you a summons? No.
No.
Okay. Some piece of work. So your policy limit was $3,500. Is that
Yes.
Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Where is the car now?
The car,
It's not an answer. Where is the car now?
in front of my yard.
Okay, so you have it.
Yes,
And this incident took place on May the 1st.
yes.
Why is it still at your house?
Because I plan on getting another one and rebuilding it.
So you plan on using it?
Well, I plan on using it for parts because I can't do anything else with it.
Or you plan on using it for parts, whatever it is. Do you have a photograph of it?
Yes, I
now,
do.
I'd like to take a look at it.
There's a couple more.
Oh, gee whiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way you can use this car. Why don't you just scrap it?
Well, because I was planning on, if I took her to court and wanted some money, I was going to try to buy another one, rebuild it, use some of the parts off of that one, and try to get my car back, you know? That's just, I mean, it's a big loss for me. I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, that's all, only way I can see I can get back, you know?
Okay. Valuing the car at $10,000, which is $9,000 what you put into the car. I have no idea what you paid for it. You got $3,500. I'm awarding you a judgment, sir, of $6,500 against the defendant. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $6,500. We're finished here. I would have taken your license away.
This court is adjourned.
Because I was running from someone chasing me for my life. It was self-defense.
That she was being chased by some girls, that they stole some hair or something like that. And I was like, well, where are they? We didn't see anybody there. If they were chasing you, why didn't they stop and come and get you? Why didn't you crash? Because that was their time to get you if they were going to get you.
Because the person was not turned down the street as me, so it is what it is.
But then she mentioned it to the judge, but didn't mention it to the police. And she said it to me because I was wondering why you were going so fast down a narrow street with a bump on it. And that's what she said, that some girls were chasing her over some hair.
I am still driving, but not that vehicle. It's totaled.
It's time to get a new one.
You know, common sense is a great indicator of truth. And I think that if the defendant's story was true, that she was being chased and harassed by these two hairdressers, you have your phone in your car. You laid it out perfectly, that you make a quick 911. You call them and you say, oh my God, these crazy people are chasing me. or none of it ever happened.
Or when you finally cause an accident like that and your car is severely damaged, and there's nobody chasing you.
Yeah.
You stop to wait for the police, and when the police finally come, because she was looking to boot out of there, you say, these women were chasing me. I know who they were.
Yeah.
You would create a police report.
Yep.
Just a whole lot of who shot John. It's unbelievable to me that people can make up interesting stories. In 2022, she had one hairdresser appointment. She had
Very
another-
intricate.
Very, very intricate. Nobody has any proof.
Yeah. They never do.
Sometimes they do, but not in fishtails like this. You walked up to her and you punched her.
I don't agree with that.
Are you making any excuses for that?
They had each other's hair.
I'm done with you. Put him out.
Okay, let's roll. Because my child ain't standing here without me.
You can take her if you want.
This is Judy Justice. Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, are suing Devontae Greer for medical bills, property damage, and lost wages caused by an assault.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please. Uncross your arms.
Judge, case 3183, Johnson Anderson versus Greer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You weren't present during any of the activities that you allege in this petition. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Nor were you.
Correct.
You're her parents.
Correct.
You can sit down. You can step up.
Okay.
And you were not present during any of the activities that are alleged in this petition. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
How are you related to the defendant?
I am her uncle and her guardian.
You can have a seat.
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up. Your first name is?
My first name is Marley.
And yours?
Justice.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
And you?
14.
How long have you known each other?
We met each other this year.
Who was new to the school?
Me.
You were?
Yes.
Just this past semester?
Yes.
Okay. Marley, this petition says that you had some difficulty with the defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
And that she assaulted you, that you were injured, and that was not far from school.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'd like you to keep your voice up and tell me when this happened.
Okay. This all started September 21st in 2023.
December 21st, and I want you to do something. You know, young people know how to listen to each other when they talk fast. I am no longer young. You don't have to speak in slow motion, but speak the way I'm speaking.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Good. December 21st.
Okay, September 21st, 2023, me and Justice took a class together, and it was our last period class. We were taking a test, and our teacher had stepped out the room for a second.
Yep, you're talking fast.
Okay.
Your teacher asked?
No, our teacher had stepped out of class for a second, and me and my friend started talking. When the teacher arrived back in the classroom, she said, "Stop talking to us." We stopped talking, but Justice and her friend were continuing to talking behind us. So my teacher told me to bring her my test, and I was going to receive a 0 for the test.
Okay.
And then I told her that that was not me talking. So my teacher told me to point at who was talking. So I pointed at Justice.
Was Justice talking?
Yes.
You remember this incident?
Yes.
Were you talking? Look at me. If you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory, right? Because one way or another, you see, she's taking down everything, and this is not my first rodeo. So I'm going to ask you a question. After the teacher told them to stop talking, did you continue to talk?
No.
Okay. Did you hear Marley tell the teacher that you were talking?
Yes.
And when Marley told the teacher that you were the one talking, did the teacher ask you if you were the one talking?
No.
What did she do?
I really don't remember what did she do, but...
We're not talking about 5 years ago. We're talking about an important event. Something bad happened to you as a result of this event. What do you mean you don't remember? Look at me. What happened after Marley told the teacher that she wasn't talking, you were?
I got angry, because...
You got angry?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not unreasonable. You got angry because?
She pointed at me and I wasn't talking, and she told the teacher it wasn't me.
So did you tell the teacher it wasn't you?
Yes.
And what did the teacher do? Come on.
I'm trying to think.
Just a second. Has this happened to you before in school?
Yes.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if it hadn't happened to you before, I would say that this is an important event, but it's happened to you before. What did the teacher do with regard to your test?
I don't know. I think she took the test too. She told me I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay. And what did you say to her?
I said, "Don't point at me." And she pointed at me again, and I said something like...
Let me hear what you said to her.
I called her a B word.
Okay, and you said that in class?
Yes.
Okay. And then the class was ultimately over?
Yes.
Tell me what happened after class.
Well, after class, me and Justice got in, it was an altercation, but it was verbal.
In the classroom?
Yes, and our teacher sent an administrator to come get us out of class and talk about it. And
okay, because you started yelling at each other?
Yes, Your Honor.
In front of your teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
The administrator told us, is it a big deal or not? Me and her both agreed it wasn't a big deal. It was dead right there. So then I'm walking to the bus lane. So I was waiting at the bus, and then next thing I know, somebody got my hair and I'm getting punched.
Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, claimed Devontae Greer owes for damages after his 14-year-old niece attacked their 15-year-old daughter at school.
Who got your hair, did you see?
I didn't know who grabbed my hair because I was turned one way, and when I was turned this way, somebody grabbed my hair and punched me. And then when I turned around, it was Justice.
Was there anybody else there other than you and Justice?
Yes, it was the whole school. It was dismissal, so everybody was going to their buses.
Was anybody around Justice when you saw her and you got punched?
No, because when I turned around, I started defending myself, so everybody moved back, but everybody was recording.
Okay. Justice, have you seen these recordings?
Yes, I seen one.
Well, you want to tell me what happened at the bus stop?
Can I, rewind back before?
Of course.
Okay, like when we talked it out or whatever with the administrator, and I thought we were cool. Like after we got done having, so it was time for dismissal to go out to like the buses and stuff. And I see her in the hallway with her friends, and I walked past her, and she stopped me. She was like, "We good or something? Like we good?" I'm like, "Yes, we good. Like everything cool." So I'm walking out to the buses or whatever, and
look here. Don't go there. Look here. You're walking out to the bus and...
Yeah, and it's like a little spot where people sit to wait for their buses and stuff. But I didn't see her after, like, we said we was good and stuff. So someone came up to me and told me, like, she wanted to fight me and all of this. And I'm like, we just squashed it in, like, the class and we talked about it. So I don't understand why she go back and, like... So I, like, walked up to her, I tapped her, I asked her, I'm like...
No, you walked up to her.
Yeah, it wasn't like trying to check her or anything. It was just like asking her, did she like say all that stuff? Like I didn't get mad, get rude or nothing. I asked her respectfully, like, did she say anything, like any of that stuff? She said yes. So she turned around and then I forgot what I said. I think I was like, you said I didn't want to fight you or nothing, so do you want to fight me now? Because you said I didn't want to fight you. So I'm asking you, do you want to fight? So she put her hand in my face. She turned around, she said, girl. So like, I felt like I should defend myself. She put her hand in my face.
This is your guardian, right?
Yes.
He's going to stand up next to you. Very careful what you tell me because there's video of it all. I want you to show me what you mean when you say she put her hand in your face. Show me.
Like she did this and turned.
Now you can sit down.
Yes, ma'am.
She put her hand up and she turned around to walk in the other direction, like this. I want to know where you hit her.
In her head.
Okay. Now, after you hit her in her head, did you start to fight with each other?
Yes, I
You started to fight.
Yes.
And people started to videotape the fight.
Yes.
Did you have any friends there?
I was standing by my friend, but then when she walked up and when she had hit me, she moved away, and it was just us two fighting, and then the crowd formed, and it was just like everybody was there.
Did you hit her?
Yes.
How many times?
We was fighting a long time.
Did you hit her?
Yes.
How many times?
I can't count.
Have you ever been in a fight before?
Yes.
How many times?
Once.
The same year?
No.
Year before?
Middle school.
Ever been in a fight before?
Yes.
When?
Probably like middle school.
You're a mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever get into a fight?
No, nothing.
Physical?
No, ma'am.
Sit down. Did you ever get into a physical fight with anybody?
Negative.
Ever get into a fight, Whitney? I'm just curious.
No.
You know how bizarre this sounds to me? Really bizarre. Now I'll see the video. Who's in the white? I can hardly tell.
That's Justice. That's being attacked by the adult officer.
And you're in the dark top, fighting with the officer. Right? Well, he's trying to pull you off and you're not letting go. That's what I see. Am I seeing that wrong?
Justice is holding her hair.
Just a second.
They had each other's hair.
By the way, I just thought maybe I misheard that.
Ma'am?
Did you say something about the officer attacking her?
There was an officer in the video punching Justice in her head. Yes, ma'am, I did say that. Yes, there is.
Just a second. Are you making any excuses for that behavior?
I'm saying that a grown adult has no right to punch a child, so that's not an excuse.
They're killing each other.
I'm not a fool,
They're
but
killing each other.
You as an adult would punch
Just a second.
child.
I would never have a child that was involved in that kind of behavior.
Well,
that's what you should, just a second. That's what you should be dealing with. You too. That's what you should be dealing with.
Well,
Children.
There's a bullying situation. You only can take so much bullying when you're a new student and you don't know anybody in the school. You just started a week or two prior to that. Yeah.
Lost. Didn't you understand? I'm not excusing the fight, but there was no fight until the punch. Do you understand that? Forget bullying, forget. There was no fight until the punch.
There's ways to be attacked without and feel offended, and people are coming into your private, personal space without them throwing a blow at you. So I don't agree with that.
Well, I don't give a rat's behind what you agree with, sir. Okay. I'm going to tell you that she didn't go into her space. She went into her space. She walked up to the bus stop.
Can you show me that in the video? They were both at the bus stop. She touches the bus just as well.
Sir, why don't you listen to what your ward told me?
Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, are accusing Devontae Greer's 14-year-old niece of starting a fight by punching their 15-year-old daughter at school.
She told me that girls had come and yada, yada, yada in her ear, that she was saying nasty stuff about her.
Okay.
That sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
Okay.
Your ward told me that she went to where she was.
No, she said that there was a coincidence and they ended in the same spot. Those are her exact
lost.
Those
lost.
Are her exact words. Verbatim.
You're lost.
Those
You're lost. I don't know who made you her guardian. I don't know who made you her guardian. Some fool.
I wish we could rewind, because that's what she said. We ended in the same space by coincidence, because they both catch the bus.
I'm walking out to the buses or whatever, but I didn't see her after, and we said we were good and stuff. So someone came up to me and said everything she was saying. She wanted to fight me, all of this. And I'm like, we just squashed it in class, and we talked about it. So I don't understand why she would go back and yeah. So I see her outside. So I walked up to her, tapped her.
I walked up to her. And?
It was asking her, did you say all that stuff when we just squashed it? I asked her. I didn't get mad or rude or nothing. I was like, you said you didn't want to fight me. Do you want to fight? She put her hand in my face and said, girl. So I felt like I should defend myself. She put her hand in my face.
I never put my hand in her face.
Who took that video?
It was posted on Instagram and they sent it to me. So that's how I got it.
Do you know who posted it on Instagram? It has to have
I don't know exact who, but it was one of her friends.
Is it one of your friends who posted it on Instagram?
Well, it was a lot of people reposting the video. That's were my friends that were reposting the video, but the account, we never knew who actually posted the video.
Your Honor, if I may?
Sure, you can.
If you look at the beginning of the video, whoever was recording, knowing what's going to happen because it's a little boy walking by, she's like, move, move. You see Marley is literally on her phone with her book bag, her purse.
I didn't see that.
Yes, ma'am. So at the beginning, you can see the
Well, just a second. Can we go back and slow motion that?
Standing behind Marley and just attack her.
Where does she pull her?
Shh. Oh, just a second. Can we slow motion that again, please? Justice, you see that back in long black pants, long black hair, and the white shirt. Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're going to do it in slow motion. Slow. So you're walking slow, slow, slow. You want to see that again, Justice?
I seen it.
Just a second.
You don't see Marley
Just a second.
in the video at all.
No, that looks to me as if you walked up to her and your hand came back and you punched her. That's
exactly
what I see.
What I said I did.
No, I don't want to hear from you. I'm done with you. You want to do that again? Let's do it slow motion again. You're walking up to her. And as you're walking up to her, you pull your right arm back and punch her. That's what that looks like.
I never said I didn't do that. I told you
Okay.
exactly.
I didn't see any. Girl, did you talk to me? Did you really want to fight me? I want to fight you. Hand in your face. I didn't see any of that, Justice. I just saw you walking up to her, and as you were walking up to her, pulling your hand back and punching her. That's what that video shows. Do you want to see it again?
I seen it multiple times.
Well, you can imagine whatever you want. It's not fantasy land. That's what that shows. Not all this palaver before that you've sold him on.
She didn't sell me.
Kevin, put him out.
This way, sir.
Put him out.
You can come right with me.
Put him out. You can
'Cause I'm
take
not
her if you
standing here
want.
without
You
my
can
child.
take her if you want.
Okay, let's roll. Because my child ain't standing here without me.
Very good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $10,000. We're done.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
After seeing the video only depicts part of the truth. The conversation was actually had before that.
The video was clear as day that she hit Marley. Marley was engaged in her phone, in her own world, and she came behind her and attacked her.
Well, this was a classic case of a bully beatdown. Someone who picks on you, intimidates you, and then when they get those hands or they take that beat down, then they want to come to the courts and play all those games.
It was no bullying.
I would say violence is not the answer, but if somebody picking on you and you got to give them them hands, hey, so be it.
Keep your hands to yourself.
You know, I sat in the family court long enough to know that with that kind of guardian, even if she was redeemable at her young age, it's going to be a long haul. Because the only thing that he found offensive was what he said the officer was behaving improperly. I don't remember what he said, punched her.
Yeah.
There was nothing in that video that suggested that the two officers was trying to do anything but pull these two girls apart, and they wouldn't let go.
Putting themselves in harm's way, and now a mob of students who are recording, who are hyped up, all because of your child's actions. So maybe you focus on that instead of the actions of others who were doing nothing more than try to discipline your child because they didn't know how to act.
Right. And there was no question when you watched that in slow motion that she came up to her and sucker punched her from behind. Well, that has to stop.
It's crazy.
She really got hurt. And the person who was supposed to give this young lady sound advice is blabbering in her ear that she was a victim. She was a victim because she's just in the school and she was being bullied. Well, that's not what the video showed. That wasn't the facts. And fortunately, with everybody walking around with a camera, you can actually record events.
Yeah, but sadly, that doesn't help the victim mentality that's being shoved down her throat by her own guardian.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But fortunately,
it helps our job.
It helps our job to have it
on video.
On video.
Is suing her former friend, Douglas Soroki, for storage fees and a wrongful eviction.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 2062, Bahar versus Soroki.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Bahar, how old are you?
38.
What do you do for a living?
I used to be a cosmetologist.
What do you do now?
I'm not doing anything right now.
Who are you living with?
I lived in hotels. I'm staying now with a friend for 3 weeks.
How do you support yourself?
I'm on income that comes every month. I'm on disability right now.
Is your disability of a physical nature or psychological nature?
It's both.
And how much do you collect from disability?
Around $900.
A month?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been on disability?
About 10 years.
10 years? And when were you a cosmetologist?
I started back when I was 16, during high school time. And I started doing hair, and I went to hair school, and then I ended up getting really sick. So I went back and forth to doing hair. And then I just couldn't do it anymore.
Well, when did you said you were a cosmetologist? When were you a cosmetologist?
During high school years, so it was like around 2000.
Oh, well, that's a long time ago. We're talking about ancient history.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is that since you were in your mid-20s, you have been on disability.
Yes.
And how old are you, sir?
69.
You're a single man.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me how you met the plaintiff.
About 4 years ago, she called me. I do auto brokering, where somebody wants a vehicle, and I go to the dealer and try to make the best deal for them, just like a real estate agent.
Tell me how she got your number.
So I advertise on Facebook. I advertise on LinkedIn. So I don't know exactly how she got my number.
How'd
but
you
it's
get
out
his
in the
number?
public.
The truth is, I never got his number. What happened was we talk about, I'm looking for a car. I'm selling, I want to sell my car. He messaged me, hey, I sell cars. I can help you.
That's
2-3
not
years.
true.
That's very true. I have all the messages through Facebook and everything. But he messaged me, I can help you. How are you? Good morning. I said, okay, you can help me. But
Okay, I got enough.
Yeah.
All right, so let me sort of outline this case the way I am now putting it all together. You came onto some hard times, harder than usually your life is because of your disability, and you were in your apartment, according to you, and the building had a fire. Because of the fire, you became homeless. You had already known the defendant. He did something for you with a car. And you were living alone, I assume, in this apartment. How many bedrooms in the apartment? It was a one-bedroom. And did you have a lease in that apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much were you paying in rent?
It was $790.
Okay, so you were paying $790 for the apartment that burned down.
I'm sorry, $690. I apologize, $690.
And how long had you lived there?
It would have been 5 years exactly.
Okay, would have been 5 years before the place burned
Yes,
down.
ma'am.
And
Your Honor,
what?
they were evicting her.
At the time of the fire?
Yes,
No.
yes. And then
Just a sec, one sec. Don't shout out again. However, I find that interesting. She was living there for 5 years, and how do you know that she was being evicted?
she showed me the paperwork.
May I see it?
Yeah, it's my phone. Here's the letter that she had with the management.
Okay, good. Thank you. I just see your request for a hearing, and the hearing was for what?
It was dismissed. I had
No. The hearing's for what? Was it for an eviction?
No.
What was it for?
I had COVID, and I had Sarah Pay.
Are you not understanding me?
No, a hearing for what? I'm sorry.
I said, was the proceeding an eviction notice?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't an eviction notice.
They don't have proceedings for COVID. They have an eviction case. You may say, I don't have money because of COVID, and they give you time to pay. Were you served with an eviction
It was
notice?
a warning to go to court.
Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
For what? For speeding, for robbery, for assault, or for an eviction?
For non-payment.
For eviction. Listen, for eviction.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
Only because when I told the judge said it's not an eviction.
I don't care what you told the judge. You were
No, he
brought
told
to
me.
court for an eviction.
Your
Kevin,
Honor.
would you
My-
return this
my
stuff, please?
landlord took $9,000
just
from
a second.
Sarah.
Just a second. Ms. Bahara, let me explain something to you.
ma'am.
I don't know whether you watch me in the past or whether you don't watch me in the past, but I want you to know that I know exactly who you are. I know exactly how you live. I know exactly how you support yourself. I know who you are. I know all of that. So let's not play with each other. You're a smart lady. You've managed to negotiate at age 38 a system for yourself. So when I ask you, did you go to court for an eviction? The answer is yes. You want to explain it to me if I ask you what happened? Well, I paid it, and they COVID, they couldn't throw me out because it was COVID. You're not allowed to evict somebody during COVID. You want to explain that to me if I'm interested? That's fine. But if I say to you, were you summoned to court for an eviction? The answer is
Yes. Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
Whether that had any impact on the fire in this building, I have no idea.
No, I don't. It didn't.
I have no idea.
And
The
when she
plaintiff
said-
says she was a heroine in this fire, according to her complaint, and she got a lot of people out of the building, and the things in her apartment were unscathed. Now, prior to that time, had you done anything other than help her secure a car?
No.
Did you help her secure a car?
No, I couldn't get it because her credit was terrible.
Just a second. Did she want a car?
Yes.
Okay,
Two
what
different
kind of a
times.
car did she want? That's the reason that you met.
The first time, something inexpensive like a GMC Terrain. The second time, she wanted a 2017 or 2018 Lincoln. I think it's MKX or MKZ.
What was she driving when she contacted you? Nothing.
Right.
Did she ever buy a car?
For me, no. But she did get one from a dealer. I don't know how they did it because...
Uncross.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you currently own a car?
No, I don't own a car. Well, now I have a car, yes.
That's what I asked.
Yes.
Yet, do you understand? You have to let me introduce you to the truth. Mr. Truth, I'd like you to meet the plaintiff. Do you have a car?
Yes, ma'am.
No, you're only nervous now because you know I understand you. You now have a car. And where are you living now?
with my friend.
Where were you living prior to that?
Hotel rooms.
When did you purchase the car?
March 27th.
What kind of car did you buy?
That was the Terrain.
What year?
2017.
How much was it?
With everything, I think it went to $24,000.
How much of a down payment did you put down?
$2,000.
And you financed the rest with whom?
They financed it with...
They had to go to a third-party lender.
I don't care. Do I look like I need your help?
No.
No. No, because I'm trying to find out how this lady who has the sole income of $900 a month, lived in an apartment for $700 a month, managed to save up $2,000 to put down on a car. Car has insurance, car has gas, car has expense. You have to buy food, you need to take care of your hair. Looks like you buy nice clothes, look like you have some jewelry that's more than $900 a month. And you've been really on the doles for a decade. So I'm just trying to square all this with what I'm seeing. Do you understand where I'm going?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Now, so this is what you're complaining about. The defendant, after you called him, said, well, I have a spare room in my condo. You can come with me. And you say, well, I have all my stuff that I've accumulated in my apartment, and I have only one storage unit to put it in, and I'll have to pick through and discard stuff, blah, 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 because I can't afford a second storage unit. And according to you, the defendant said, I'll pay for the second storage unit. And at some point after you moved in with him and threw you out, he reversed the charges. And so you were charged for your storage unit for your stuff. That's part of your lawsuit, $600. Now, the main part of your complaint, for which you want almost $6,000, is for punitive damages because you claim that Mr. Soroki, while you were living with him, rent-free, food-free, everything free, made unwanted advances towards you. And I'm certain that what you did was put in this complaint the most egregious things that he did to you, because you would want me to know the most egregious things that he did to you, right? Okay.
Laura claims her former friend, Douglas Soroki, owes for storage fees and a wrongful eviction. Douglas is countersuing for property damage and false accusations.
So let me read to you what you say he did to you, the unwelcomed advances. He would walk around the house in his underwear.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. I didn't ask you anything. These are the most egregious things. And he patted my behind when he walked past me.
Not true.
Now, just a second. Those were the first two things that you tell me that he did to you. Now, how many times do you say he touched you?
Between 7 and 8 times.
7 to 8 times. Okay. When did you live with him?
I moved in March 5th of the fire.
And how long did you stay?
Till the 31st.
Of what?
Of March.
And what happened on the 31st of March?
I was trying to make phone calls to get a car behind his back because he took the privileges from using his car.
Just a second. So while you were living with him, he let you use his car when you needed it. And then he told you couldn't use his car anymore?
So he didn't tell me. What he did was on the 24th, he said, we're going to go to my son-in-law. I sold the car to some lady. Come with me. Let's drop it off, which is the Cadillac that I'm using because he has 2 cars. He ended up getting the electric Audi. He said, just use my car. Now, keep in mind, he's letting me use that car since March 3rd. March 4th, my house burns down at 1 a.m. So he goes and gives a car to some lady. We drop it off all the way.
Date?
March 24th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so that's March 24th.
So I have no more car at this point. So the Cadillac is gone now.
You didn't have a car when you were living someplace else. So moving in with him, you had a car.
Yes.
Which was very nice because you hadn't had a car previous to that. So now we dropped the car off and now you didn't have a car.
Yes.
That's March 24th.
Right.
Then what happened?
I was trying to still figure out, and we had talked.
You tried? You didn't finish to say you were trying to figure out what?
Figure out how to get a car, like to see what I can
Okay,
do.
so you were trying to get a car.
As for the money, the way it was saved, I had a GoFundMe.
Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't tell me you had a GoFundMe page.
I did. I did. It was for the fire.
Just a second.
It was his idea, too.
No.
I got it.
Got it? Oh, I'm dying to see that. Okay. Now, you were driving his car, right?
Yes.
Ever think about driving for Uber? Seems as if you're perfectly capable of doing that. You drove a car. Go pick somebody up, take them back. I don't know how that would be affected by your disability because clearly you were able to drive. I'm going to get past that. We're back to March 24th. Now you're making calls when he's not around to try to get a car because you no longer have a car. You leave on March 31st. You want to tell me what the circumstances were that caused you to leave on March 31st?
So March 26th, he said, can you please go to a friend's house? I'm bringing a girl over. I said, yes, no problem. It's his house.
Okay.
You can do that. I said, can you please drop me off? I have a friend that was supposed to be my witness today. She wasn't feeling good. Can you drop me off because it's only 15 minutes where he's from? He said, yes, no problem.
And when you slept in the defendant's condo, you had your own room?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we got up and everything was fine. He was rushing me out. We were talking, and as he showed me a picture of who he's bringing, I told Doug, shut my room door because I have stuff in there. So he dropped me off. I went to my friend. It was actually my friend's birthday.
I don't care.
Okay. So in the morning at 10 a.m., I get a text message showing me a one-dish plate on the sink. And he's like, you couldn't do a dish? I said, I cleaned the whole house. I said, anyway, should they drop me off or do you want to come get me? I want to come back home. He's like, no, I'll come get you. I'll pick you up. He came, he got me. We sat in the car. I said, hi. He's like, I asked you to do one fit. I said, wait, the dish? I said, I cleaned the whole house and everything. We went back to the house.
Then what happened?
He knocks on the door and he says, pack up. I'm calling you Uber, leave. I said, I have nowhere to go. Where am I going to go? What do you mean leave? He's like, I just don't want you here anymore.
Now, this is on the 27th. He tells you to leave. You call the police.
No, he called the police. I told him to call the police.
No, she didn't tell
just a second, because you didn't want to leave. Because
didn't have nowhere to go.
Because you didn't want to leave.
It's not that I didn't have nowhere to go. I had no car to leave anywhere.
Well, just a second. Are you living at a hotel after this?
I did.
After this. And how did you get to the hotel?
The guy that I purchased the car from brought it to his house, brought me that car on the 31st.
Just a second. So he asked you to leave and you managed to get a car and you went to a hotel, right? What happened between the 27th, because police were called, they came, and they evidently said you could stay?
1 week.
Yes.
1 week. They tell you could...
There was two cops.
I don't need a whole story. Did they let you stay?
How long would you like for you to have? I said, I need some time. I have nowhere to go. That's when... Yes, ma'am.
A week. But you left on the 31st. Mm-hmm. Did anything else happen between the 27th and the 31st?
No.
You packed up your things.
Yes.
And a car was delivered.
Yes.
And you left.
Yes.
There were no incidents.
No.
And so just so that I'm totally clear and understand... On the 27th, you were in a safe place in somebody's house. You have your own bank account because GoFundMe?
I have the page.
Oh, may I see it, please?
Sure. In the description.
Okay.
Is here. And that's how much it's.
Okay. My name is Marilyn, and I'm a fire survivor. Place where I lived caught fire. I left my apartment to go upstairs. I knew it was too late for one of my neighbors. I had to scream. I will make a long story short. It's taken a toll on me and everyone else. My main goal was to save everybody. We ended up losing everything because we had to leave the premises and we were not allowed to go back for 24 hours to remove what was left in our apartment. As for me, I now have nowhere to go and I need help to get into a place. I had to borrow a friend's transportation to get around, rent out a storage, and put everything there that I can. At this point in my life, it feels like a dream, and so far, you asked for $7,000, and so far you raised $1,772 from soft-hearted Americans. These people got to stay off the internet.
Has accused her former friend, Douglas Soroki, of sexual harassment while living with him. Douglas says Marilyn lied to the police and damaged his reputation.
Okay, so just so that I'm clear, you raised almost $1,800. You didn't have a car before. No, you told me you didn't have a car before. Is that what you said, Whitney?
Time, yes.
She didn't have a car before.
During that time.
Well, at that time is what I'm talking about. At the time of the fire, when you were living at this $690 a month apartment, you didn't have a car. You see, what I don't understand, madam, is that in the whole litany of your travails and troubles with the defendant, it sounded to me, a little bizarre. Taking in somebody he didn't know, dating somebody else, bringing somebody else to his house. But he's a 69-year-old man. He can do what he wants to do. He's not asking you for anything. You pay for your own storage. If you had to pay for your own storage, pay it out of the GoFundMe page. The thing that's most irritating to me is that you now, in order to get money from him, you sued him for sexual advances. And if they were so horrific to you, you've lived in motels before. You've lived in hotels before. You have friends. But it's sort of outrageous to try to convince me that you were so outraged by his conduct and still stayed, and when he tried to get you out, try to convince the police to let you stay because it was your home. That's what I don't understand.
The police said that she has...
Just a second. Do you understand what I just said?
Everything you're saying is not how it happened. Everything's a lie because he gave me the car 2 days before the fire. He told me I have an extra room. I'm going to help you come clean my house. I'll give you $300. Get back on. This is the truth. I'll get you back on your feet. I did lose my home. I did save people. Yes, I am.
You're not understanding what I'm saying?
I was over there for free. I paid for food. I helped him too. The car he'd give me, I go back and forth, help him bring in his papers to the car dealerships.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think he owes you for? You're going to pay your own storage unit. That's why you went on a GoFundMe page.
He said do the GoFundMe. He called one of his friends from California. He's the one that sent $500. Yes, I saved it. That money from the GoFundMe and from whatever I got from my friends, I saved it to get a car. I said, are you going to still help me put the down payment? He promised the down payment. He promised everything. Yeah. I have proof right here that he promised everything. I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. This is all him saying.
Take care of yourself. I find it unbelievable for a person as strong as you are that if he was doing these things that were so irritating to you, there's the door. And what I have a problem with is that some people really are subject in their workplace, in a domestic situation, abusive people. And when you try to use it to get money from, well, that's what you're here for. That's what you're suing him for. $6,000.
Right,
$6,000. $6,000.
I could have.
Just a second. Just a second. Don't tell me you had nowhere to go. You've had some place to go for 38 years. For 38 years, you've managed to find a place to go and find. Don't speak back to me. You've managed to find some place to go for 38 years. And without working, hustle to live. However that was, whether it's through relief or food stamps or disability payments or cosmetics on the side, you've managed to not work and live. Well, that's what you told me. That's what you told me. Don't look quizzically. You've managed to not work and to live. Somebody who may have had ulterior motives. 70 doesn't go into 38, sir. 38 goes into 70. But 70 doesn't go into 38. So I would stay within my ballpark if I were you. Do you understand? And it doesn't belie credulity, which means I can actually understand that a single guy, 70 years old, now has somebody who's relatively attractive that he's extended a hand to come and live with him, and he made an agreement with her. I don't even have to go into it, that she would take care of the apartment, she would clean up the apartment, she wouldn't have to pay you rent, she could use your car, all of that stuff. And there is no question in my mind, in your head, that somewhere down the pike there was going to be a payday. Just a second. Maybe, maybe not. However, the plaintiff has 2 good feet, and she was out of your house, and she insisted on coming, as she calls it, home. I had to go home. And then when the police came, she insisted on staying home. How much time do you need to get out? Because he wanted her out. I need a week here because I have no place to go. Okay, your case is dismissed. Listen, sir, you made a mistake.
I made a mistake.
You made a mistake.
Yeah.
Your mistake just got dressed down in an international forum because there's no question in my mind that this lady who lives by her wits, if she didn't want to live someplace, she wouldn't live there. So your case is dismissed, as is your counterclaim. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I am a very humble person. I don't hurt people. I'm a giver.
Well, she knew that the girl was lying, and I knew that she'd catch it right up front.
She's the judge, right? But, the real judge is God. And that's who I put my faith in.
You can't do anybody a favor. She had a fire.
And she may have seen me dressed up nice. I'm going to take care of myself, whether I am homeless or not.
She called me at 1 or 2 in the morning, had nowhere to stay, so I let her in.
I'm not going to come as a scrub. I'm not a scrub, so.
People have to be so careful on GoFundMe, and there's no fact check on the internet. There's no way to tell whether she really did lose her belongings and was homeless from a fire or not. People can write whatever they want on the internet. And it really rubbed me the wrong way because I thought I read in her sworn papers for today, she said, I was able to save most of my belongings because my unit did not burn to the ground. And you read the complete opposite on her GoFundMe page that she was using to solicit money from innocent people online. And that really rubs me the wrong way because you're going to swear to this here in court today, but there is no such sworn testimony for the internet.
We've seen a few cases like that, even people feigning illness. And it's actually just a testament of the good-hearted people that live in this country that will give a total stranger based upon a caption, $10, $100, just makes them feel better. But when you find somebody who abuses it, it really hurts everybody because people will look at these GoFundMe pages, some of which are legitimate, as potential scams.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a woman who lives by her wits, and he's an old...
John and Cynthia Frazee are suing John's former client, Cynthia Booth, and her fiancé, Dwayne Burnley, for posting damaging reviews.
Court come to order. All rise.
Seat, please.
Hello, Judge.
Why,
Case 2079, Frazee versus Burley Booth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Frazee, you are an electrician by trade.
Correct.
And how long have you been in that business, sir?
Since 1986 as a license and 1978 as an electrician.
Now, maybe a decade ago, you're going to give me the exact year, month and year. You were called to do a job for this lady. Your last name is?
Booth.
Miss Booth. And you did an electrical job for her. We'll go into it more fully in a minute. When you were doing that job, you brought in a helper. This gentleman whose name is Mr. Burnley.
That's correct.
And before you brought in Mr. Burnley, I gather from the papers, Mr. Burnley did not know Miss Booth. Would that be a fair statement?
That's a fair statement, but he did not bring me in. I was actually just driving down the street, and I'm new to the mountain, and I drove by and saw Mr. Frazee there, and I was...
Listen, this is not Gone with the Wind. This is not War and Peace. I asked you a simple question. Before you were brought in on the job, you didn't know Miss Booth.
That's correct.
Right. And that was about 10 years ago.
Correct.
Since that time, since you were brought in on the job, you and Miss Booth have gotten to know each other a lot better.
Correct.
And I assume that by a lot better, that the two of you live together.
Correct.
And you've been living together for how long?
Since November.
Of this last year.
Yes.
November of 2021. But prior to that, you were social friends.
Correct.
And that social friendship started when first introduced to her at this job.
No.
It's the first time you met her.
Oh, that's the first time I met her, correct.
Correct. This is your problem, and this is the nature of your lawsuit. You allege that you did a job for Miss Booth almost a decade ago, and you came to ascertain that Miss Booth and or Mr. Burnley had written some negative reviews about your company, currently wrote negative reviews about your company based on work that you did 10 years ago.
Yes.
That's your complaint. And you asked them to take them down. First they did, then they didn't. You found other ones posted in different areas. Now, Mr. Burnley, are you a working man, sir?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an electrical contractor in Big.
Okay. Now, at the time that you first met Mr. Frazee, did you have your own company?
Yes.
You had your own company?
Yes.
In what year did you do Miss Booth's job?
I did it on April 30th, 2013, Your Honor.
That's not correct.
That's not correct.
Shh. Month and year, you say you did the job.
The job was done on May 9th of 2013.
Okay, so we're off by a month. Is that right? I don't care. You were talking about 9 years ago.
Correct.
Now, tell me something about the job. What was the nature of the electrical job that you were doing?
An older home needs to have at least a minimum of a 100 amp service. Ms. Booth's home had a 70 amp service at the time. She was purchasing it, and that came up on the inspection report to replace that, which I was engaged to do.
So far correct?
No.
Well, now I'll have your version. Did you have to upgrade the electric?
I had to upgrade due to a homeowner's insurance.
Okay.
That's
well,
what they required.
What's the difference in what he said? He said that you had to have your electricity upgraded. and it came up in the inspection report.
It did not come in an inspection report.
Well, then how did they find out? Who found out about
with my policy.
What do you mean you were honest with your policy?
Well, they asked me what year the house was and what amperage it had, and I said 75.
And your insurance company said to you, it has to be 110.
100.
Oh, 100.
Yes.
Before you could move into the house, for one reason or another, you had to upgrade the electric.
Correct.
Okay, and you hired Mr. Frazee to do that.
Yes, they were my friends.
I don't care whether he was your friend or not. If he was your friend and he was a vet, you wouldn't have hired him to do your electrical work.
Of course
He was
not.
your friend and he was an electrical contractor.
Right, correct.
And when he came to your house to look at the job, did he come alone or with a helper?
Alone.
Once you change the ampage in a house, do you have to get somebody from either the county or the city where you live to sign off on it? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
And once Mr. Frazee did that, modified the ampage, did you have an inspection?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have that inspection?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at it.
And the job was not...
I didn't ask you anything.
That also includes Mr. Burnley's inspection.
Just a second.
I'm sorry.
Don't volunteer. I'm old. I get confused. I try to keep these things very linear, so even I understand them. This is the inspection sign-off on the work that you did in 2013. Have you seen it? Yes, of course you have.
No.
Well, show it to them. You do remember that you had to have an inspection afterwards.
Of course.
Ms. Booth.
Of course.
Okay, it's just common sense. If you didn't have the work done and you said to your insurance company, I had the work done, the insurance company would say to you, show me proof that you had the work done, otherwise we're not giving you insurance.
Correct.
So you know you had an inspection after he completed the work.
It wasn't after the work.
The work was never...
Shh. I didn't ask you anything.
Okay.
But I will answer for you.
She wasn't...
You can.
Okay.
You can. So the insurance company accepted your word that the work was done?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have that back, please?
And I did tell them I had it signed off, but it was signed off when the job was half done.
That's your problem. You want to sign off when something's half done? Fine. I wouldn't sign off when my hair was half dry.
And John's former client, Cynthia Booth, and her fiancé, Dwayne Burnley, slandered their business. Dwayne is countersuing for filing a wrongful lawsuit.
Now, my next question to you is, after 2013, did you perform electrical work for Miss Booth in her house? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
Now I'm going to ask you, what was the nature?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't remember.
You mean, just a second, you remember the work that you did when Mr. Frazee was there in 2013, when you were with him, but you don't remember the nature of the work that you did for your girlfriend in 2018?
I'm pretty sure it was a panel upgrade.
Just a second. I want you to think. What kind of work did you do for Miss Booth in 2018?
It must have been the panel upgrade that I did at her house. I changed the 100 amp out to a 200.
Sure, look at me.
Because that would be...
Look at me.
I'm sorry.
So you changed the 100 amp. Shh. This is not my strong suit, and I have to tell you something. Of the 100 million people who are watching this, they're going out to get a cup of coffee right now. You changed the 100 amp that he had done in 2013 to a 200 amp. You upgraded it in 2018.
And put a surge protection system
And a
in her
surge
house.
protection.
Yeah, now I do recall.
Great. When was the first negative review that you can show me written about your company? Now we got what's going on. Now I have it
Your
clear.
Honor.
Do you have it clear?
I think a little bit more fuzzy than you, but clear enough.
Do you have it clear?
I have it clear now.
You have it clear? Well, just to make it crystal clear, Mr. Frazee did work at Miss Booth's home in 2013. It was electrical work. It was electrical work performed by him with the help of Mr. Burnley, because in order to get a homeowner's policy on her new house, she had to upgrade to satisfy, according to you, only insurance.
Correct.
That's what you say, from 70 to 100 amps.
Yes.
Look, this whole little thing at my age, I'm learning. Now, evidently, they liked what they saw in 2013, and that materialized into a romance. Good for you. And in 2018, I assume he was living there?
No.
When did he move in?
November of.
November.
November of last year.
Yes.
Okay, but you were dating in 2018?
Yes.
Yes. In 2018, Mr. Burnley, not with the help of the plaintiff, replaced and upgraded the 100 amp to 200 amp, which is much better because I know that I have 200. That's, you have to plug things in. It's 110, 220, right?
Yeah.
110, 220. And he put in a surge protector. Now, even I know what a surge protector is. Correct me if I'm mistaken. That means if there's an overload, a lightning strike, whatever it is, it protects it so the whole board doesn't fry and everything turns off, and then you have to replace all the lead. The wires go zzz. Am I right? Right. So he upgraded the system and touch of necessity what Mr. Frazee did in 2013. No question, had to do that. Now I'd like to see the negative reviews and when they started.
The first one we found was in 2019, Your Honor.
Well, are these in order? This was...
That's the most current one that was in February of 2022.
Did you write this? Frazee Electric, he was supposed to do a panel change and never put rods in and fried my electronics in my home and garage opener. Left such a mess and never cleans up.
That's correct.
Did you write that?
Yes, I did.
When? In what year?
It's about 3 years ago.
3 years ago, 2018.
Approximately.
About when he changed the electrical
Yes,
system. Just a second.
Okay.
About when he changed the electrical system. All right, then you wrote something. I will not even write this company 1 star due to the unprofessionalism in completion of work. Hire this electrician to do a 100-watt panel, never grounded, never finished, and left a mess. He's known for not cleaning up. Had to hire another electrical contractor that was most professional. Now, when did you write that review?
About the same time.
2018.
Yes, on a different review.
That was a different one. And you said that you had to hire another electrical contractor.
Yes, I
to
did.
finish the job. And who was that?
That was DMB Electric.
That was him?
Yes, I called
Just a second.
2 competitors.
Just a second. In what year did you call them?
Oh, this was...
No, in what year did you call him?
2013.
After he left, you called them?
I called 2 other contractors.
Just a second. Did you end up using Mr. Burnley?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So back in 2013, you were dissatisfied with this company.
Yes.
Let me follow this. 2013, you were dissatisfied with the company. You called another company.
2 other.
Just a second. You called another company, but the county had signed off on your job.
Yes.
What you say in your answer is that they signed off erroneously on the job. Well,
yes.
I have to take at face value they're signing off that the job was completed. And I assume you got your homeowner's insurance.
Yes, I did.
After he left and after you had the county sign off.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But they...
Now, just a second. Now, don't tell me a but.
No.
Now, 5 years later, because this was written in 2018.
Correct.
5 years later, you're now dating Mr. Burnley.
Correct.
Who's now living with you.
No.
Who had, well, you say you moved in 2021.
Oh, 21.
Yes.
Yeah, who's now living with you. You began dating in 2018.
That's correct.
And Mr. Burnley, who is now living with you, and in 2018, you woke up one morning and said, who now has his own electrical company, woke up and said, 5 years ago, Mr. Frazee's company and he did not do a professional job in my panel. And now we're dating. And now all these negative reviews come, not in 2013 when we, Sarah, you have Yelp and all those things in 2013?
I'm not sure if I can get back that far, but I could search.
And I wasn't aware of Yelp.
I don't care what you were aware of.
Okay.
You mean you woke up in 2019 and found out that you could give a star or a review? That's the first time you found that out? I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Well, it's
I just
true.
want to tell you something. I don't believe you. I don't believe that when you want to go to a restaurant, Miss Booth, and it's a new restaurant, you don't take a look on your computer and say, I wonder how many stars it got. I wonder if there are any reviews on this resort.
Yes.
Well, then you were smart enough to do this.
My sons are in IT, so they
I want to tell you something. I don't believe you.
Okay.
Because I'm older than you are. And I know about this, and she can tell you I'm an idiot on the machine.
Well,
I don't buy it. And I don't buy, actually. Yeah, it is.
I can't see any of her reviews.
Your Honor,
But there are reviews on Yelp of his business that all are very positive.
I have them if you'd like to see them.
I will look at
And
them.
I have negative reviews that says the exact same thing what Cindy posted.
Just a second. You don't understand what I'm saying to you, Mr. Burnley. I'm saying to you that it was nasty and malicious, because if she was unhappy with the service, it would have been posted in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17. And it wasn't until the two of you were hoochie-coochieing that all of a sudden we got negative reviews about a job they did 9 years before. That's ridiculous. It's mean-spirited. All those positive reviews that you posted, did any of them have to do with people that you're sleeping with? That's a question.
No,
No,
of course not.
Of course not.
I'm not that
Okay.
kind of girl.
I don't know what you do in your house, but this is my house now. You're not going to bring this drama in my courtroom. You put your entire lives on social media. And at the end of the day, Snapchat did you in.
Electrician John Frazee has accused his former client, Cynthia Booth, of posting damaging reviews years after the job was completed.
It's mean-spirited.
That's not correct.
Just a sec. You say it's not correct.
Well, I'm
I'm
just
looking
saying-
at the timeline. I'm looking at an inspector's report.
Right.
Who is a disinterested party, who signed off on an electrical work. I'm listening to Mr. Burnley, who 5 years later did work that replaced his work from 100 amps to 200 amps with a surge protector, and all of a sudden, you start writing negative reviews about their company. That's the timeline. And if you want to try to fill me in and make me feel as if I made a mistake, I'll give you 30 seconds to do it.
Okay. Yes, we started seeing each other in 2014. And my sons are in IT administration, and they had told me, Mom, you don't know
Don't
about
tell me what
Yelp?"
your sons, don't tell me what your sons
Okay,
told you.
I didn't know about Yelp or Google reviews back at that time, because I'm not computer savvy.
You want to know something? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I'm almost 80 years old, a lot older than you are. And I know that if I want to look something up, which I do occasionally, I look something up and I say, did so-and-so eat at this fish restaurant? It's a new place, it's a new town. I'm going to go there and take a look at it. I know how to do that. And I'm an idiot, and I'm an idiot. And if you just found it out, if you just found out how to do it, then there was no reason for your first review to be about his company.
No.
About a job that was done.
91 other reviews I've posted.
Just a second. Positive or negative?
Positive.
Are you sleeping with any other electrician?
No, I'm not.
Just a second. That's the end. All those positive reviews that you posted, did any of them have to do with people that you're sleeping with? That's a question.
No,
No,
of course not.
Of course not.
I'm not that kind of girl.
What I'm telling you is the timeline doesn't make sense. These nasty reviews written about a job that started 9 years before, in this case, 6 years before, now that you are sleeping with a head of an electrical company, don't make sense. And my nose tells me if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. Now, when you came back a month later, what else did you do?
That's it.
Didn't clean up a mess.
At
Just a
that
second.
time.
Didn't clean up a mess.
Yes, I cleaned up the mess.
You cleaned up what
My
mess?
mess. He
your
doesn't
mess.
clean up his mess.
Well, you didn't. That's what she told you.
No, I have other reviews of other people on the internet that posted that.
I'm asking you a question. You didn't clean up his mess.
I didn't clean up his mess. I
Right.
misunderstood you.
Okay, well, that's what I said.
sorry.
You didn't clean up his mess.
No, I cleaned up his mess.
And didn't write a review.
Well, I didn't know about Yelp.
I'm telling you, you can say it until the cows come
That's
home.
not
I don't
true, Your
believe
Honor.
you. I don't believe you. And I don't believe that the first year that you found out to write a review is when you and Mr. Burnley started a relationship. I just don't believe it.
No.
And I think it's mean-spirited. You have to know, Miss Booth, I think it's mean-spirited.
But we were seeing each other in 2014.
You were seeing each other in 2014.
Yes.
You have a company, sir?
Yes, I
Do you
do.
have a company?
Yes.
Are you licensed?
Yes.
What's the name of your company?
DMB Electric Inc.
Just would you take a look at that, Sarah?
It'll be under DMB Electric Services Inc.
And in what year was your company formed?
This
She's-
one, this
this-
one, 2013.
He had a prior
I had a prior one.
2013.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was that before or after you did her job? with him? Before or after?
I had the license before.
No, the company. I said, was the company
the company
formed?
was established.
Careful, because she's a whiz with the computer.
No,
that's good.
Was your company formed before?
Yes, Your Honor.
Before you did the job with him?
Yes.
Okay, in what month in 2013?
I don't know.
Are you
what date.
guessing?
Yeah, I'm going
Are
to
you
guess
guessing?
January. Yes.
Was it before or after you did the job with the plaintiff? If you don't know the answer, say, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay, now.
The business was incorporated March 20th of 2013.
Does it have any reviews?
Only 4 from the past 2 years on Yelp, all positive.
By the way, did you ever write a review for him? Did you ever write a review for Mr. Burnley's company? Is not an answer. Did you ever write a review for Mr. Burnley's company? Stop shaking your head, Mr. Burnley. Did you ever write a review for Mr. Burnley's company?
No.
Okay. I don't know what it is that you didn't understand. Sir, you didn't say much. You don't have to say much. I got what went on here, and I think it was mean-spirited, and you're suing for $10,000.
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
think that their reviews and the abuse of the critique of your business warrants the award of $10,000. You have a counterclaim. Which one of you has a counterclaim?
I do.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. Your counterclaim's dismissed. I think that you were a co-conspirator in her writing these reviews.
Not.
Counterclaim is dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $10,000. We're finished here. Thank you very much.
Your Honor.
This court
We're
is
done.
adjourned.
During the COVID shutdown, when nobody had any work in a small community of 5,500 people, that's what they chose to do.
Hey, I'm glad it's behind me, man. That's all I can say.
He was just getting his license, and I helped him begin his business, and this is how he serves me.
I agree with the judgment, but why $10,000? That seemed a little high for me.
You can permanently hurt somebody's business, their livelihood, if you write a negative review. Because people more and more rely on the internet when they seek a service, rely on somebody else to say, I've had a good experience or I've had a bad experience. I believe, based upon the timeline that we heard, that the defendants wrote these reviews for a reason other than bad electrical work. Because if there was bad electrical work, that would have shown itself between 2013 and 2018 when her fiance redid the whole system.
Or it wouldn't have passed the inspection.
Or it wouldn't have passed the inspection. So that, to me, is malicious. I think you have to get a real wake-up call. And to me, $500 doesn't do it. It's malicious, and I don't think he has to show any real damages other than the reputation of his business has been sullied by someone for malicious reasons having nothing to do with work that was performed 9 years before. And I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
Vanessa Howard is suing her former friend, Ontrell Brooks, for a car loan.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Hello, Judge.
Hello.
Case 2108, Howard versus Brooks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Howard, your case is simple. You claim a loan to the defendant for the down payment on a car.
Yes.
When did you make this loan?
March 24th of this year.
How much was it?
I gave him $1,500 and he paid $300.
Where did you take the money from?
I had it at my home.
In cash?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a hairstylist. I'm an owner-operator.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's the sole source of your income?
Yes. I own a salon business. I'm opening my second one.
Tell me how you know the defendant.
He was a client of a former stylist many years ago, so I met him through the salon.
Did you have any sort of relationship with him?
At the time that I met, no.
No. At the time that you gave him this loan?
We were friends.
What did he say he needed the loan for?
To get a vehicle.
To get a car?
He was at Mercedes trying to purchase another car, and I knew he had a baby on the way, so I felt it was...
I want to know what he said to you.
He said that he needed help with the down payment. He was short some for a down payment on a car that he wanted.
Did you have that conversation on the phone or in person?
Yeah, he called me and asked me for originally $2,500 to help him with the down payment. And I told him, well, I don't know if I have that much. I'll see what I can get him. I had the $1,500. He came to pick it up at my home.
And that was on the 24th of March?
Yes.
When did you purchase your car?
I believe it was the 24th as well.
You have any paperwork for the car? What paperwork do you have there? I just want to see what you brought with you today.
Basically, the lien holder paper.
And what is that supposed to tell me?
I believe it has a date on there when I purchased it.
Okay. And how much did you put down on the car?
$9,000.
Did you trade in a car?
No.
Why did you need $2,500 from her?
I actually didn't ask for it. I just mentioned to her that I
No, well,
needed
just a
it.
second. I asked you a question.
Okay.
Why did you need extra money towards the down payment? Did it affect the payments? Did it affect the insurance? Did it affect the
yes.
premium?
Basically, the car, it was like $74,000. So if I was to put down a lower payment, like you were saying, the payment would be higher for the monthly. So if I put down a little more, it dropped it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she gave you $1,500, not $25.
Yes.
But she gave you $1,500.
Yes.
And she gave that to you around the same time that you purchased the car. Were you current in your insurance payments on the car?
Yes.
And then you crashed the car.
Yes.
And the insurance company paid the lien holder on the car.
Yes.
Made the payout.
Yes.
So you didn't get any money from the insurance.
No.
So now you have no car, right? I don't know if you have a car now.
I have a car, yes.
Well, you got another car.
Yes.
What kind of car did you buy?
A Tesla.
A Tesla. And how much did you pay for the Tesla?
I put down like $8,000.
Where'd you get the $8,000 from?
I work. I have a place where I hold traveling nurses.
Did you take the money out of a bank or did you have it in cash?
I had it in cash.
The $8,000.
Yeah.
How much money do you make from this business that you have?
It varies depending on how many nurses I have staying there.
So you own the property, or do you manage the property?
I manage the property. So it's basically housing nurses or people that travel for business.
And how long have you had that business?
I've been doing that for maybe a couple years now.
That's how you support yourself?
That, and I do training as well, fitness training.
Okay, so now you paid back $300 of the $15, right?
I gave her $300.
Right, and when did you give her the $300?
I'm not quite sure the date, but
Give me a month.
I'm not quite sure.
When did he give you the $300?
May 17th.
Okay.
Tell me why you gave it back, the $300.
I gave it back to her because she basically...
Not basically, this is basic.
Well, because she kept asking for it. So just to get her off me for a second. So I gave her $300. Just I didn't feel like I owed it to her because I thought that, you know, it was given to me because we were like really cool.
Just a second. Okay. All right. Well, Miss Howard.
You can't be serious.
Miss Howard.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been operating your two salons?
I'm opening a new one now, and the first one was opened in 2012.
Do you live with anyone?
My children.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
How old are they?
I have a 17, 18, and 21-year-old.
Big kids?
Yeah, college and high school, yes.
Who supports them?
I do.
From
Their
your
father
work?
helps too, yes.
From your work. Do you live with their father?
No.
No. But he also helps?
Yes, he does.
And you sound like a really intelligent, put-together woman who's had her own business, who's got 3 kids, college kids.
Yes.
Moving forward.
Yes.
Why? Why do you think, you know, I know that you work, because if you're a hairdresser and that's your source of income, you work really hard. It takes a long time to accumulate $1,500. You know, I'm sure you get some tips and stuff. That's the cash that you keep.
Yeah.
So you work hard and you've got 3 kids who need money. He wants to buy an uber expensive car and he wants his payments to be lower. So he says to you, not that he needs it. See, he doesn't need it to get a car. He wants it to make his payments lower.
That's not how he presented it to me.
How did he present it to you?
He said he needs help. He needs the money for the down payment. And I knew, he told me that, you know, the situation, his car got taken away or whatever. And
his car got what?
His previous vehicle was taken from him.
From how?
I don't know.
What kind of a car did you have? Before you bought the BMW?
That's what it was. It was a BMW.
Oh, and then you bought a Mercedes?
Yeah.
Okay, so you bought, sorry, I got that confused. You bought the Mercedes using some of her money. Before that, you had a BMW.
Yes.
Okay, and now you have a Tesla. Do you understand how foolish that sounds?
Yes.
You don't want to sound foolish.
Well, like I said, he's had a baby on the way any day now, and my compassion for the situation, I was like, okay, I'll give you that. And I know he's had a source of income. It's not like I've ever known him not to have an income. So I felt like, okay, he'll do right by me. Of course, he didn't. We see.
Do you know how many people stand in exactly that spot and say, you know, I trusted him. He gave me this story, gave me that story.
Yes.
And what I'm telling you is most of the people standing there, for some reason that has always baffled me, are women.
As Howard claims her former friend, Ontrell Brooks, owes for a car loan.
Most of the people standing there, for some reason that has always baffled me, are women.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I have guys standing there and say, you know, she asked me for this, and so I knew she had a baby on the way, and I felt sorry for her, so I gave them money.
Right.
Most of the time, they say goodbye, which is what you should have said. And
absolutely.
You appear to be much too fine a lady. And
thank you.
A hardworking lady. Don't give anybody,
no more,
any guy who takes money from you to lower his car payment and buys a car for $75,000 and asks you for $1,000 or $2,000, knowing that you're a working gal and that he didn't need it to buy a car. He could have bought a car for $50,000. He could have bought a car for $30,000.
Right.
Likes to drive fancy cars with somebody else's money, okay?
Yes.
So the only people that do that sort of thing are untrustworthy, usually, as my great-grandmother would call them, bums. So I would suggest that you be smart in the future. You're a hardworking lady. Hold on to your money. If you want to invest in anything, invest in your children's future. We're done here. Judge Plank.
This court is adjourned.
Mr. Brooks took my money with no intentions of paying back.
I thought it was, she gave it to me.
Oh, car crashed, my tires got slashed.
I thought it was a gift because she really liked me.
Don't let men borrow money.
Lovely woman, hardworking woman. She's going to have a chain, as Dolly Parton would say, have a chain. Going to have a second salon. On the other side, you have somebody with zero judgment.
He's well versed in other people's money.
Why a perfectly sensible, bright woman would take money that she worked really hard for and give it to somebody that she hardly knows.
Women have to be smarter.
The women have to be smarter, worry about themselves.
Yeah.
Case 2113, Pickett versus Glick. All parties, please step forward.
William Pickett is suing his former friend, Clinton Gick, for unpaid car payments and vehicle damage.
Mr. Pickett, you and the defendant, according to what I've read, were friends. You knew each other.
Yes.
You had a car that you were interested in selling. The defendant was interested in purchasing the car. Your car was 10 or 11-year-old vehicle,
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
When had you purchased it?
I purchased it about a year or so prior.
So you only had the car for a year. You were not an original owner.
Yeah.
Did you pay cash?
I did.
How much did you pay for the car?
Roughly $10,000, $10,000.
No, I want to know. I mean, you came to court today, not a roughly. Today we know the numbers. We're not talking about something that happened 20 years ago, something that happened a year ago. You bought a car a year ago. You paid cash for it, according to you. I want to know how much you paid for it. That's easy. You should have those records.
$10,000.
Well, now you say 10, right?
Yep.
Now you say 10. So now I'm going to tell you to go outside and get me the bill of sale for the car.
I did not bring that.
Why?
I didn't think I needed it.
How am I supposed to ascertain what you paid for the car, sir?
I didn't think about that.
Should have thought about it. I thought about it right off the bat. You had the car for 1 year. And when did you sell it to the defendant?
3/18 of 22.
For how much?
$10,000.
Well, then you're a genius businessman, because unless this 10, 11-year-old car, Mr. Pickett, had something really unusual about it, most cars depreciate the moment you drive them out of a lot. You bought this car from a company, which means you paid more for it than if you purchased it through a private person. You understand that?
Yes.
Of course. So there was clearly a markup. Sarah, take a look at a 2012 Dodge Charger with 148,000 miles.
I got it. Between 7,500 and 10,000 for a private party sale.
Okay, so as I thought, the value of the car went down from when you bought it, but you sold it to him for $10,000 because he was making payments. I assume because he was making payments. Did you have a written contract?
I did.
I'd like to take a look at it. Mr. Glick, how did you know each other, sir?
We worked together. We'd known each other for about a year, I think, at the time the car was sold.
Okay, so the first thing was he traded in something of value, which was he gave you a car.
Correct.
What kind of car did he give you?
Honda minivan.
Did you have the title to that?
Yes, I did.
Did he turn over the title to you?
He did.
What did you do with the Honda minivan?
I sold it.
To whom?
Someone off of Facebook Marketplace.
Okay, when did you sell it?
A few weeks afterwards.
How much did you sell it for? How much did you say you sold it for?
$1,000, $1,200.
Let's get specific, Mr. Pickett.
$1,000.
I'm not exactly sure what he sold it for, but clearly acknowledges at least $1,000. So this is what the lawsuit is about, and I've read your contract. According to the contract that you have here, you listed the dates, the schedule of payments, and you marked off when he paid and when he didn't. But we're going to go through the dates, and your lawsuit seeks damages to the car, repo fees, the unpaid contract price of the car because you repossessed it and you want him to continue until he's finished paying for it, right? That's what you want.
Yes, ma'am.
And the defendant has a counterclaim. And his counterclaim, in effect, although he doesn't articulate it in legalese, the basis of his countersuit is that there was never any meaningful breach of the contract and that he tried to make his payments pursuant to the contract and that you repossessed the car without just cause, and he's counterclaiming for the money that he put into the car as equity. That's what your counterclaim is.
That's
correct? Okay. So far you put in $4,000. According to this, he paid you March of 2022, April. As a matter of fact, he made 2 payments.
Correct. Payment schedules for every 2 weeks.
6/17, he made a partial payment, but made that up on 7/1, so he was up to date. Then you say on the 15th of July, he missed a payment. Did you miss a payment the 15th of July?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Tell me why.
At that point, the plaintiff had already threatened to repossess the car several times before I'd ever missed a payment on the car.
Because you made a partial payment once in June.
Yeah, and also...
But then made it up again within 2 weeks.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you had already said to him, you missed payments, I'm going to repossess the car.
I informed, I didn't threaten to repossess it.
No.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you missed a payment on July 15th.
Yes, and I informed him when I missed the payment that the reason for missing it, he had just filed for bankruptcy, and with his bankruptcy and the threats to repossess the car, I had decided that I wanted to miss, as it states in the contract, that I could miss 2 consecutive payments before repossession. I wanted to talk to a lawyer and make sure that I wasn't going to be putting even more money into a car that
you weren't going to have equity in.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's why you missed July 15th.
Yes, that's
okay.
correct.
And it's the 29th of July also missed.
Yes. So I attempted to give Mr. Pickett a $500 payment on the 29th. He refused to accept that payment, and I have that in text.
I'd like to see it.
Text messages.
I'd like to see it. Do you acknowledge that he attempted to give you a payment on the 29th?
Yeah, he attempted to make a partial payment.
He attempted to give you $500.
Correct.
And tell me why you didn't accept the $500. He missed the payment on the 15th.
I informed him on the 16th that I would not accept a late payment unless it's in conjunction with the current payment.
You can't change the contract, sir. You can't change a written contract.
William Pickett claims his former friend, Clinton Gick, owes for car payments and vehicle damage. Clinton is countersuing, claiming William sold the car under false pretenses.
No, you had a written contract with him. If you're changing the terms, he has to agree to the terms in writing in the same force and manner of the original contract, which is this in writing signed by both parties. You have a contract here. The contract says he can't miss 2 consecutive payments. He wasn't missing 2 consecutive payments. He missed July 15th, and he tried to give you one on the 29th of July. If you refuse to accept it, he hasn't missed 2 payments. You refuse to accept the second one. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, well, I see the interchange, Mr. Pickett, and the interchange clearly says you're paying your $1,000 today or returning my car. He says, I'll be giving you my $500 payment that's due today. Then you changed the contract and you said, not acceptable. You're behind $500 and a late payment will only be acceptable with a current payment. Is there anything about that in your contract?
There's not.
Okay, so if it's not in your contract, it doesn't exist, and you had so far no reason to repossess the car. Did he try to make a payment to you in August?
I think one other time between the time I repossessed it.
Okay, well, you had no reason to repossess it so far unless he missed 2 consecutive payments or unless he failed to keep insurance. Did he fail to keep insurance?
I have never been given proof of insurance.
This doesn't require that you
Yes,
are given
I don't know
proof
if
of insurance.
or not.
This doesn't say you require proof. Did you have insurance on the car?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Through whom?
Erie Insurance Agency.
Okay. And you have no information to the contrary?
I don't.
Okay, fine. So at the time you repossessed the car so far, Mr. Pickett, you didn't have basis under your contract to repossess the car.
There was also other terms that I believed he had violated.
Well, let's hear them. So far, he didn't miss 2 consecutive payments. Had you filed for bankruptcy?
I had started filing for bankruptcy, yeah.
Is that completed?
Still hasn't been discharged yet. I think I have another month or so.
Was this the first time you filed for bankruptcy?
Yes,
Buyer misses 2 or more consecutive payments. Buyer fails to maintain full coverage under insurance. Any significant damage to the vehicle that is not repaired in 30 days. Did you notify Mr. Glick of any damage to the car? Give him notice and say, pursuant to the contract, it has to be fixed in 30 days?
We had talked about it when he came to drop off one of his payments, and he said...
Well, give me a month.
It was...
A month and a year.
It was in June.
June of 2022, he came over to drop off a payment, and that would have either been on June 3rd or June 17th.
Correct.
Okay, and tell me about the conversation.
I said, hey, there's a dent in the front now. And he said he'll get taken care of. At that point, I didn't really inspect the car. Because
well, I don't care what you didn't do.
Yeah.
I want to know what you did.
Yeah, I told him, it needs to be fixed. And he said he'll get taken care of.
Okay, and?
When I repossessed it, it was still there, as well as more damage.
Okay. Did he talk to you about the dent in the front?
I don't recall that conversation ever happening. There was text messages sent to me about damage to the car. The car had dents and dings all over it when I got the car. I mean, the front bumper even had significant damage to it.
You repossessed the car at the end of August. Where is the car now?
At my house.
What's it doing at your house?
I was just sitting there for the moment.
Well, what's your intention to do with the car?
Give it up in my bankruptcy.
প্রশ্ন সুন্দর আপনি চাইলে খুব সহজে করতে পারেন কিভাবে এন্টার করবেন কি রকম পয়সা লাগবে ভিডিওতে শেয়ার করব অবশ্যই ভিডিওটা পুরোপুরি দেখতে বলবেন না ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে
দেরি হয় অনেকবার কেন জানি বানাইছিল দেখলাম ওই মাসে কেরা বানিয়ে দিছিল দুপুর কি কাকড়া এই বিয়ের মাই তাসলিমের মাই না ওই বাসায় থাকতে এই বাসায় তো একটা বানাইছিলি না আমাকে এই বাসায় থাকতানি না দিয়ে আইছিল হিসেবে আনলি তোরা বানাইলো খাইলি ওই বাসায় থাকতে এই বাসায় ও না এই বাসায় আমি বলি এই বাসায় কারা করে দিব এই বাসায় করে দেন মানুষ আছে কেউ কিচ্ছু ধরতো না আবার কিছু করে দিব ওই বাসায় ওয়াইনের মাই করে দিছিল 2 বার আনছিলাম জিজ্ঞেস পর্যন্ত করবো না শরীর ভালো লাগে নাকি খারাপ লাগে আবার মানুষ আছে কেউ কিচ্ছু ধরতো না আবার কিছু করে দিব ওই বাসায় ওয়াইনের মাই করে দিছিল 2 বার আনছিলাম জিজ্ঞেস পর্যন্ত করবো না শরীর ভালো লাগে নাকি খারাপ লাগে আবার মানুষ আছে কেউ কিচ্ছু ধরতো না আবার কিছু করে দিব ওই বাসায় ওয়াইনের মাই করে দিছিল 2 বার আনছিলাম জিজ্ঞেস পর্যন্ত করবো না শরীর ভালো লাগে নাকি খারাপ লাগে আবার তো নেই খাইব